So let's start the first session of the year off right. So last where we left off, the party had defeated the abomination that was taking lair in Manananan McLear's temple, but at the cost of their dear companion Nyx. After swiftly defeating him, and Galliford gallantly began a ritual to bring her back from the dead. But after reaching out to her, Nyx decided to go visit her mother in the afterlife. Saddened by this decision, Galliford let the party know what Nyx had decided. Using the portal that you have found in the temple, you all escaped with some treasure that was hoarded from the temple, and begin to give Nyx an adventurer's fare off. Bucky is very saddened at this. Kind of going off and hiding a little bit. What would Bucky do during the funeral?
Is there any trees nearby? He'd probably climb up one of the trees and just kind of watch in sadness because he's been with Nyx since her childhood, and it almost feels like he lost a best friend.
Okay. Yeah, he could find definitely like an old driftwood tree that's still standing, and go and kind of mourn for the evening.
Yep.
As you guys are sitting there watching this and knowing that the dangers of what in this world of what you are embarking on to help Galliford are in fact real and have consequences. Mason, you periodically have to you begin to get dry and have to reapply water to yourself after the fight with that abomination, and have to somehow stay moist, thinking that this creature has put perhaps some sort of disease or curse on you. You're not sure, but it still lingers after the battle.
I'm just gonna go dip my blanket in the water and sleep under a soggy blanket.
During the funeral, it is evening time. Dark clouds begin to pour over the sky, and it begins to rain, and you can hear thunder crackling off in the distance. And that is where we will pick up. You guys are on the beach in the funeral with the pyre, and it is now raining. So, what do you do?
Apparently, we're gonna have a moment of silence first.
Do I transmat in?
No, just wait. Just wait.
I'm kidding.
So yeah.
No, I know. I'm sure you have a setup. I trust you.
Nyx has become a force ghost. Nyx looks a little different as a force ghost.
After the funeral and as it starts raining, Galliford, when everything ends, will kind of whisper a prayer to the Autumn Goddess since she fell in her realm to help guide her passage. And then he'd probably play a soft tune that's dedicated to Nyx on the lute.
Okay.
I'm gonna take some ashes to spread somewhere else, maybe back at the fort or something, or whoever can tell me where she had a special place. But I'm gonna take some ashes.
Okay. So you quickly gather up some ashes.
Ashes to
would
ashes,
say-
dust to dust.
Someone did pocket some of her ash before she pulled her hand back. She asked that we bring her ashes to her home.
Stig, Caradwin.
Stig is remaining silent for this.
Okay. Caradwin.
Caradwin's does not handle death well. She's kind of like silently fuming, mostly like almost like doing arcane mathematics as the only way to like calm herself, standing away from whatever the funeral is, not necessarily participating in it, just bottling all this up in a very unhealthy way.
Okay. So after some time, it dies down. It is still pouring rain, and you see, and there is thunder and lightning shooting across the sky. As you guys are getting ready to set up camp for the evening in this gloomy setting, a bead of light begins to glow in the center of your camp.
Does this beam look...
Bead, not beam.
Oh, bead?
Yeah, it is like a soft bluish silver bead of light.
Mason's gonna draw his mace. What kind of fairy fire will-o-wisp thing is this, Galliford? What is it?
Lightning elemental.
It may be an answer from the goddess of the Fae, of the Autumn plane. Maybe she's answering. Galliford will step back cautiously, but is watching the glow.
Okay.
Did we recover? Because Stig's at like 14 HP.
This is like you haven't not taken a long rest at all yet. This is like shortly after the funeral and whatnot. So no, you have not recovered yet.
Stig will move forward to get between this and everyone else.
The light starts to grow bigger and bigger and begins to take a humanoid shape. Almost angelic. And it begins to take form of a very familiar figure, Stig, and you recognize that this figure is Aurora.
So when I'm there, am I like fully aware? What do I feel? Do I feel exhausted, tired, or do I feel like I just stepped into a doorway and appeared here?
It's you don't feel exhausted or tired. It's almost like you stepped through a door here, but you are taking sense. You do, even though you are not physically here, but you do like feel the rain on your cheek and whatnot.
Yes. I have a whole role play later for that I want to explain what I can feel. Because I do feel pain, I assume, as well.
You got a sense of sadness one evening and knew that you basically had almost a calling to come check in on this group.
Yes.
that you.
I look to each of you and I linger for a moment while I look at Stig, and I say, "It is good to see you and be with you once again. I wish it were under better circumstances, but I could feel the pain of your loss from across the leagues that separated us, even as far as my distant mountain monastery. And Zul, blessed God of justice, has granted me the power to join you, if only for a time. But I know I can never replace the soul that you've lost. But hopefully I can devote my sword and my spirit to finishing what it is you have started, or helping you overcome the challenges that you face with the loss of your beloved party member.
Well, you have impeccable timing.
Apparently, our destinies are intertwined. I know not why, as I am not a god myself, but Zul has his designs, and apparently me being here with you is part of it. I'm only sorry I couldn't come sooner, and perhaps prevent the loss of our beloved Nyx. Stig, how are you doing?
You can see Stig is like on the verge of tears. He looks broken.
I received your letter. I have it with me, actually. In my pocket. My pouch.
He will approach with his arms out.
And I will embrace him, but I will motion to anybody else, like if we want to do a group hug type thing. Because I am here kind of as a, I don't want to say mother. I'm more of a sister figure. But she obviously, Aurora cares deeply for all of you and felt your pain from, distance. So I feel connected to all of you. Even you, Caradwin, who likes to stand aside and scoff at such petty human emotions.
And as you embrace, Stig is going to just break down. I didn't mean to.
I'm sure it wasn't your fault. I'm sure it wasn't your fault, my friend. The gods can see what is in your heart, what is truly in your heart, and I'm sure that you never meant for this to happen.
Well, Stig breaks down in Aurora's arms. Galliford's gonna go find how did I just space on the name already?
Excalibur?
No, I have to resummon Excalibur. Our
You
friendly
guys have,
squirrel.
Bucky.
Bucky, thank you. Galliford's gonna find Bucky and try and comfort Bucky.
Do you guys have mounts here, or are you just walking around?
Galliford has a summon mount. Everybody else is walking.
Yeah, you
I have a griffin.
Wow. That's pretty fancy. I can't do that until I'm like level 15.
so
When
yeah,
I learn find greater steed.
Aurora, you could tell that they're in the middle, looking around, even in the darkness. You're in the middle of some lake.
Yeah, I am kind of curious where we're at. I will say that as Stig and Aurora embraced, it didn't sound like anybody else wanted to join in the group hug, so it was just the two of them. I do have a physical form. You can feel me. But as I step back, I'll say, I am not. I am with you as much as I can be with you. But it takes a great deal of concentration to maintain my presence here with you.
Are you dead too? No.
Oh man, I immediately regret my choice of words. And I put my arm around you again, Sting, and say, no, nothing like that. Zool has granted me the ability to project myself to where you are. Through the astral plane, but to wherever it is we are. And I look around, and I say, the beacon that led me to you was literally just the power or the strength of your sorrow. Your great feelings of sadness is what pulled my presence to you. But I don't know where we are. And I look around and say, can you tell me where we are? It doesn't look like a place I've been to before.
I'm not surprised you were able to find us. There's been a lot of sorrow in the last couple of days. If you pray for Nyx, please pray for everybody in Everfall. It fell the other day to a bunch of spiders.
Gallifrey grits his teeth, overhearing it.
I don't think I'm familiar with that place either. I think, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Aurora came to the... You guys are in the Feywild, and I don't think I came to the Feywild.
You have no idea you're in the Feywild. You don't...
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get across, that I don't even know that I'm not in the prime material plane. I don't know where I was going. All I knew is I was being drawn to their emotions. So I'm again looking around. I said, Everfall? I guess I could pray for them, but I'm not familiar with that place.
It's Gallifrey's home down here in the Feywilds.
Say that again? You say we're in the Feywild?
Yes, we are.
I look around again, and as I know, everybody's sad and everything. My mood does shift a little bit to one of awe and wonderment. Aurora has never been in the Feywild. Being more celestial in nature, she had always wanted to come to the Feywild, but never had the opportunity. So I'm almost grateful for the opportunity, if that's the right word. But hiding that, because I know, sad things are happening. There's a funeral going on.
Stig stands up and he goes, it's not usually raining, and it's a lot of browns and oranges.
So once I collect myself, Chris, there is a new spell that can be cast as a ritual. And I've never used it before because it comes from, I want to say it's from Xanathar's, but I want to use it because I can do a funeral rite.
Oh, ceremony?
Ceremony. So I can perform a religious ceremony for Nyx.
Funeral rite. It's like second to last paragraph.
Yeah, it says I can touch a corpse, but
there's also a wedding. Just pointing that out.
Yeah,
I know. I'm not going to do that one just yet.
So no, yeah, you can just to make sure her ashes, her remains won't be corrupted or whatnot. Yeah, you can do it. You can definitely do that.
Okay, so I basically do. I know that your ashes, Nyx, but resurrect doesn't require, or no, I guess raised dead does require a body. But who knows? It's Chris's world. He could corrupt you somehow. But at least for the next 7 days, your soul cannot become corrupt.
Trust me, Ken, I already thought about it.
I figured you might have. I know how you are. And it might make a good story as well. But I'm just going, basically for the next week, Chris can't pull any shenanigans on Nyx's spirit. Is how I'm reading this.
No,
As I perform this funeral.
Yeah,
rite.
well, no short means of a wish spell, anyways. But,
Right.
But yeah, you perform. You go up to where the pyre was, and you begin to do your funeral rite.
I'll say that I say that poem that I wrote. That I posted in the chat there. Just to say, to honor Nyx as part of the funeral rites. And say that, it's like her, since she was a druid and we're in the Feywild, this is kind of like her forever home, where she can be one with nature.
We should place some ashes, some of her ashes, also in the garden back at the base that she had.
But yeah, it still continues to rain. Aurora, you watch Aurora respectfully do this funeral rite. But you guys are all extremely sore and extremely tired. But Aurora, I figured Aurora that you're not like a golden light. I figured you're like a soft silver bluish glow. That's how
Yes,
She's a force ghost.
Yeah, my actually that's apt because basically what is my fucking race? Azamar are supposed to pick a characteristic that's different about them, and like my hair and eyes are slightly metallic. They're kind of shiny. So anything kind of like a shiny metallic type of thing that I would appear as would be a manifestation of my celestialness.
So yeah, so Aurora, even though you're here, you feel perfectly awake. Don't feel like you need this. This is your first time doing it, but you don't feel like you need to sleep. Like you could watch over them if needed, while they rest.
Oh, I am absolutely here to be your guys' guardian, your guardian angel, in air quotes. I'm doing, as it were.
So after you perform that rite, Stig will blow his nose, wipe his eyes, and he's like, "Oh, that was so lovely." So, what's new with you?
Not much. I after we parted, and I freed you from your unfortunate curse.
Oh, you remember that, don't you?
I do. As a matter of fact, it was part of my calling to eliminate the curses of lycanthropy and vampirism from the mortal world. So that is part of like my mission, so to speak. So being able to do both at once, through the blessing of Zool, of course, granting me the ability to do so and help in that case, was rewarding in and of itself. But after that, I returned to my solitude on my mountain and in my monastery. There's a few people that live there with me, other members of my order, but very often we're not there at the same time. Like we all get different callings from Zool. So usually there's just one of us there, and basically what I envision here, Chris, so is kind of like Kaer Morhen in the Witcher universe.
Oh yeah.
Where the Witchers will go there on the off season, but the rest of the time they're out doing their thing. So there's not always somebody there, or there's only one there from some time to time. So that's kind of how I imagine Aurora's mountain monastery thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Currently, she was the only one there. So I went back there for a time, did some meditation. But as it turns out, the only way to practice my tenets is to go out into the world. And so I started itching for a cause, a reason to re-enter society. And then, of course, I got Stig's letter, and a few weeks later I felt the sadness. And it seems that my cause is intertwined with yours. And so I made it a mission. I asked Zul for guidance and for the strength to find you, and he presented me with this option to project myself here. It does require concentration, like I said, and if something happens to my form, I may have to vanish from you for a time in order to protect my life. That doesn't mean that it did come with a warning. I could die while I'm here with you, but hopefully that doesn't happen. I come with many gifts.
Oh boy, do you! I mean, so yeah.
I mean, like weapons and armor and magic stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about too. 9
Right.
9 charisma.
That's perfect. That's a good roleplay of a 9 charisma.
But hey, let me tell you what we've been up to.
Yeah, what have you been up to? I mean, first of all,
I will just say right now, Aurora, that you can see that Stig does not look the same as he was. He's got webbed fingers, and are those gills on his neck?
I noticed that when we were hugging, that there's something off about you. So, yeah, could you explain that? And maybe perhaps one of you could tell me how the brave and merciful Nyx met her end. I mean, I don't even know what happened.
I can spin a quick tale, but how about we get camp and some shelter set up first?
Agreed. Caradwin, how's the dome?
Not up. I've not been thinking about the dome. I've just been standing in the rain.
Well, while we're standing in the rain and getting ready to make camp, I am going to cast a spell, my second spell of the day, and summon Malorn.
Okay. You see Aurora conjure up, similar to what Galliford did with his golden griffin, but a silvery blue elk. It manifests itself in her presence.
This is my new friend. Malorn is what I have chosen to name. It's a him. He. My elk. This is my great steed. My trusty war elk, as it were.
You also have an animal companion. I see.
Strangely, the elk turns to you when you speak and nods its head and then nuzzles my shoulder, as if it understood you. Because it fucking did.
We're just cheering up, Stig.
It knows
Try not to
common.
pout.
It just can't speak common.
We just have this like cutscene of all the little animal companions coming out from everybody's pockets.
Looked at Galliford with Excalibur, Mason with Fulgurite, Caradwin with Morgan, and then Stig.
Wow. Everybody does have a companion, don't they? Jeez.
And then it will pan down to the to Whiskey's collar.
And then
Stig
after
wears.
a slight pause, it pans to a shadow nearby.
Nope.
Joking.
No, it pans to a shadow nearby where Bucky's sitting next to Nyx's grave.
We discovered that like a few sessions ago that everyone has a familiar except Stig whose was brutally murdered.
Blame the party.
I blame you.
Stig shouts out to the sky, I blame you!
I'm not saying anything, but we have a party member without an animal companion. We have an animal companion without a party member. Just saying.
Both of them are known for violence.
I'll walk Bucky over to Stig, hand Bucky to Stig, and then walk over to Caradwin to help console Caradwin so she can cast up the dome.
Well, that was awkward.
As Caradwin is singing Black Parade. But yeah,
Anyway, Stig will tell Aurora about how after she cleansed him of all of his curses, it seems that for some reason a bit of that curse power seemed to have been infused into his body, and now he can adapt to certain environments at will. He gained some of that. He still has some of that power, but he has all of his faculties.
Mason's gonna take his bedroll out, out into the open, so that he's like in the direct line of the rain, and set up his bed.
Yeah, Aurora, you look over Mason. He looks clammy. Like he should not be like normally out of the water for some reason. If somebody being of a fire elemental race, he's like enjoying the rain at the moment.
Yeah, so I look around at the changes that I'm seeing. Stig's got gills. Mason?
Yes.
Mason is liking the rain.
You would probably also notice that Galliford is looking way more Fey-like here than he did on the other plane. So the antlers would be longer and everything.
Looks a little alien. Yeah, so I turn at everybody in turn, just kind of glancing at all of you, and I say, it's obvious that a lot has happened to your group since we parted ways. I'm eagerly anticipating Galliford's tale. Being the bard, I think you'll tell it's been a fantastic yarn of what's happened to you. And if I could get an idea of what your goals are here so that I can be of service, that would be great as well. Hopefully it fits within my tenets. I'm sure it will.
So I think we all convene into the hut and we will recount our past adventures.
Yeah, when I last left, Stig's curse had been lifted. That's the last thing I know about the Meddlers.
Yeah, so you all set up camp. It is late in the evening. You begin to tell some stories, but slowly, one by one of you begins to fall asleep, and it's well-needed rest. Aurora, you stand guard, and because after what they have told you, and you are in an unfamiliar place, you're very on a swivel.
Yes, I know not what dangers may lurk in the Feywild. So I'm very aware. And for those of you who might be reluctant to fall asleep, because you're used to keeping a watch rotation of some kind, I will place my hand on your shoulder and say, rest easy, friend. There are some benefits to how I am here with you, and this is one. I can allow you to sleep, all of you, and get rest as you need. And I promise that I will stand guard and be ready.
Just watch for giant spiders.
Giant spiders, you say?
Ken, do you need a recap of kind of what we've all been through, or what our main mission is right now?
At least your main mission right now. Yeah, I can kind of catch up on the story bits. I know a little bit about what happened.
So to quickly go through, we came here because Galliford's family, I think, was calling him in Everfall. Okay. We went there, and what Galliford told us was his history is different from what's here. Maybe Galliford, maybe you should tell it so I don't screw anything up.
We came back to my hometown, Everfall, because we got word from the director and
Not from the
from
director.
Carrotwin's. Oh wait, it wasn't from the director. We got word that one of the pages were here from a very dangerous tomb that will help seal something off. We came here to retrieve it, and stopping in my hometown, instead of my brother being gone, they thought I was dead. And when inspecting everything, well, somehow I'm supposed to be dead, but I'm not. Nothing makes sense. But my father was being impersonated, killed my mother, and basically attacked the whole town. We barely made it out as giant spiders were roaming everywhere. But we found out that there are 3 guardians holding pages and keys to my family's tomb. We just killed one, but it took Nyx in the process. And there
Now-
are 2 more.
What can they do with these keys to your family's tomb? Like, what's the danger? Why would they want them?
So they came to Everfall for the Festival of the Masks. Gallenford, expecting a homecoming, found out that him and his brother have been dead for over 20 years in the Feywild.
That's the story.
But it's not you, because you're you.
All evidence so far that they've discovered that he is supposed to be dead. And that he is buried in their family tomb, which is magically sealed off with that is the seal on the tomb door is connected to 3 guardian creatures that from a vision that Caradron had, and they just slayed one.
Okay.
Gallenford's father was being impersonated. Through the death of Gallenford and his brother, his mother went mad. During the Festival of the Masks, some fireworks let off, and it was discovered that the fireworks were enchanted to hold spider silk from the Winter Feywild and spider eggs. So the whole town is currently covered in this thick blanket of spiders and overran by spider-like creatures. And so now they're on the mission to kill the creatures, unseal the tomb, and get inside the tomb, where supposedly they'll find more answers to what has happened.
Okay.
We also came because it is believed that these creatures and the one residing in the tomb holds some of the lost pages, which is our main overarching story, where they could what Stig here is been told is basically they can open a portal into the void, and basically our whole world could get sucked into nothingness.
Where does Stig hear that?
Stig hits things,
Oh.
so he does.
So this is just what Stig thinks.
A lot's
Stig,
gone over his head. They have lost pages. Lost pages bad. Get lost pages.
Okay.
Okay, no, I feel caught up. Well then, have you, perhaps, Gallenford? So you're in this place. You've been dead. Have you encountered anyone from your family who thought you were dead and recognized you as who you are? So far, since you've been here?
Well, in the town that is now overrun by spiders, yes, everyone.
So they recognized you, and they were shocked that you were alive when you're supposed to be dead.
They thought I was somehow an imposter and that I couldn't have been back.
They believed that Gallenford was impersonating Gallenford as a cruel, sick joke. Think Gallenford's like in the Batman situation. He's Bruce, but only instead of his parents died, he died.
Interesting.
And it's the lost. The prodigal son has returned to claim his inheritance, but he can't be because he's dead.
So we need to prove that you are you.
That's kind of a mute point. There was a lot of death, and that city doesn't really
That's
exist
true. You
anymore.
said you're. So, I mean, it's good you're alive, but everybody you know and loved is dead. Gosh,
As I said, there's been a lot of death in the last.
I was
going to
say that's another overwhelming sadness that pulls Aurora here. Jesus, I'm sorry, Gallanford. Do you need a hug?
I need revenge.
I have a brother who's into that. The whole vengeance thing. Dark Knight and all.
Where is she?
Yeah, that's the other.
I think I know that guy.
Yeah, I played a vengeance paladin before.
I've played a Batman paladin before.
Yep.
No, he was
Wasn't
a
that
cleric.
Yeah, close enough. Paladins, clerics, they're all holy knights.
Anyways, so you guys begin to rest, and Aurora, you keep watch. The rain continues on, continues to heavily pour, and again, lightning streaks across the sky. And it goes by, and it's like it is late in the evening, from what you can tell, Aurora. But the lightnings get more frequent and frequent.
Jason, if he was here, he'd be freaking out.
Okay, so the weather's getting worse.
The storm is picking up. Yes.
Okay. Well, good thing we have this freaking impenetrable dome that Caradwin summons to sleep in.
For those of you who are actually sleeping inside it.
Yeah, Mason's the only one outside enjoying the rain. Which again strikes odd because he's a fire genasi.
Yeah, but I assume I got that story. I know why everybody's different now, right? I mean, you guys told me.
To fill you in on Mason's, when we fought the creature at the bottom of the lake, I've contracted some sort of disease.
Right. I might be able to help with that. As a matter of fact, if you tell me that you contracted some kind of disease, would you want me to cure you? I can do that.
Please, it's unnatural for me to like the water this much.
Well, please, come into the tent for just a moment, or into the dome for just a moment, and I will use 5 points of lay on hands to cure a disease or a poison. So I will cure the disease.
So Mason, as you are approaching Aurora in the dome, in between you, lightning strikes. In between you and the dome. And it strikes again. And again. And shortly, it just keeps striking, and then you see a ball of electrical energy begin to form. Almost like Terminator style.
Oh, Jesus.
What is it with these stupid will-o-wisp fey creatures?
Stig looks to Aurora and it's like, was someone coming with you?
Not that I'm aware of. Is this?
Why are you guys making so much noise outside the dome?
So
this?
Aren't you seeing this?
Yeah, I'm just curious. Did I do the lay on hands yet, or is this before I do?
This is beforehand. He was approaching.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so you guys wake up. There's lightning is striking. It wakes everybody up.
Yeah, it's pretty loud.
Yeah,
we heard it.
And this ball and this energy ball of lightning forms on the ground, and it suddenly disappears, and you see kneel down again, Terminator style, a figure, dressed in unfamiliar clothing, and the figure stands up, and Stig, you can tell that this figure is definitely at least a foot taller than you.
Oh, he's a big man. Big person.
Carla, would you like to describe what your character looks like?
Gee,
Sure.
Carla, you just arrived in a freaking lightning ball. This is amazing. Okay.
Standing before you is a woman of 7 feet tall, dressed in very unfamiliar clothing, grayish skin, covered in you assume would be tattoos, but they look like they're actually part of her body, around her neck and cheeks and forehead and like on her chest. That's kind of like you can tell from the corset she's wearing, and a kind of like scrappy looking cloak and dark hair and piercing green eyes. And she kind of looks around and then looks to the skies and said, "Really? It had to be at this time? Why couldn't it have been morning?" As she pulls out her drift globe and lights up the skies a little better. And then she looks at you guys.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah. So Sonia, you're looking at the group. There's a group in front of you. Seem to be covered in some sort of magical dome, and you see a figure behind you, standing in the rain.
I probably pulled out my mace by now.
She, noticing you pull out your mace, pulls out her morning star. We gonna have a problem, buddy?
I put up my hands and say, whoa.
You're the one who dropped in from the sky into the middle of my bedroom.
Yes, what is it exactly that brought you here, friend? Potential friend?
And also, shortly after her arrival, the rain begins to stop. Slowly begins to stop, and it's still cloudy, but the clouds begin to part and leave.
Oh. Is that you that did that?
It's my god. He sent me here for some reason. There's supposed to be a little green-haired girl that just died, and I was sent here.
And who is this god which you pledge allegiance to?
Why, it's Zulkertum. Zulkertum? Yeah, Zulkertum. The god of giants and storms.
Well, that's a mouthful. Then again, we just met a god named Phenomenon.
Do phenomenon.
So
that is canon now.
what is I'm sorry, I'm having trouble speaking your god's name, but what is their interest in our green-haired companion who has recently passed?
That's what I want to know.
I look at all of you and say, I think you should lower your mace first. Whoever, I think it's Mason. Did you draw your weapon?
Mason, yeah.
Yeah, Mason. Lower your mace. If Zulkertum wants to send us aid, and Zul has sent myself as aid to the group, perhaps it's because Nyx's spirit was as strong as 2 warriors, and we should welcome. And I gesture to you, Carla's character. What was your name again?
My name's Sonia Kata Olavi, but you can call me Sonia.
We should welcome Sonia into the dome. I wanted to say Thunderdome so bad since you arrived in Thunder and Lightning, but I stopped myself. The Meddlers, the Dome of the Meddlers. Please. I mean, I guess the weather doesn't bother you, since you serve a god of storms. But come in. Let's get to know each other better.
Can I get in though? Because I think Caradwin has to let people in.
I think
I gesture to Caradwin. I'm letting Connor take the lead here. Yeah, you have to welcome them in.
Mason's gonna walk around Sonia and go to Aurora and be like, her aside, can we continue with this? And he just gestures at his skin.
Yes, please. I will approach Mason and say, please, kneel before me.
He will kneel.
and I will place my hand on the front of your forehead and the top of your head, essentially, and I will say a prayer, and my hand will glow with a silvery blue radiance, and whatever diseases are afflicting you will disappear.
Chris, does this work on the aboleth disease?
I'm double checking. I believe it will.
So here's what I have written down for it.
Yeah. So here, I brought it up. I'm just gonna. Oh, god damn it! I'm supposed to. This is what it says. So. So yeah, it's underwater. This key can only be removed by a heal or another disease curing spell of 6th level or higher. Since this is strictly a paladin ability, I'm going to say it works.
Okay.
Yeah, technically only paladins can do this, so you'd have to find one. Okay. Heal or another disease curing spell. I mean, hell, I would be willing to even spend more lay on hands points if it required it than 5. But I turn to Stig, noticing the gills, and think, is that also a disease, my friend, or something else?
Doesn't feel like a disease. Feels like it's just me.
Maybe he's evolving into something more powerful.
Perhaps. Or more fearsome.
I'm not sure I want Stig to get more fearsome until he can get his anger under control.
Didn't he literally take on the whole party? I feel
yeah,
like
and
multiple
during
meetings.
the Aboleth story, we would have told you how Stig was mind control, and I think he's the one who did the killing blow on Nyx under mind control.
I brought her
trying
down
to
and
leave
then
that
she...
part out to not upset Stig.
Aurora, Stig did. First thing he said was, "I didn't mean to."
Stig is he's a very good fighter, but he has a nasty, he has a flaw that he tends to fall under mind control pretty easily. We're open to suggestions.
What's that supposed to mean? 9 charisma.
10 charisma.
So yeah, this Sonya, you see that she's dressed almost like in tribal wear. Very very different than like orcish, but it's definitely, again, the best way I can describe it is tribal. You guys have never seen her this kind of outfit before, or seen one of her kind before, so yeah, this is a very unique person, and her god apparently has brought her to you guys for aid. Yeah,
now that Mason's no longer clammy, he'll hold out a hand to Sonya and be like, Mason Sinclair.
Shakes it, but try not to use too much strength.
Yeah, you've encompassed my entire hand.
Yeah.
So if you were to describe yourself, Sonya, are you? Okay, I see, a giant woman. You're a giant woman.
Yes.
Like literally, like the race of giant.
Adjacent.
Aurora, you can give me a. I want to say nature in this sense to kind of trying to get what her, I want to say her race, what race she is.
Okay. You said nature?
Yes.
Ooh, I'm not super great at that. But I do come from heaven and all, so that's average.
You've definitely heard of a race of people There are half giants known. Oh, no, I'm drawing the blank on the name exactly.
Goliaths?
Goliaths, yeah, they are known as Goliaths.
Oh, she's a Goliath. I have never met one of your race, but since I live in a mountainous region, I've probably heard tales of Goliaths. Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you.
As you shake Mason's hand, you can even though he's kind of scrawny, he is very strong. I just want to point that out there.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna take me some time to remember you guys' names. So you are Flame Boy, you are Bright Eyes, and I haven't been met the others yet.
I'm Stig. Stig says, come over and looking up, which is very unusual.
It's a very new experience for you, Stig.
He looks straight ahead and then he remembers and looks up.
Gallifrey just pokes his head outside the dome. Be just 1 second, and then goes back in to talk to Caradwin.
I'm gonna call you Green Guy for a while.
Mason's gonna walk over and take his soggy bedroll and try and dry it out.
Does he just climb in and it just steams?
Yeah, that's sorta. He kind of does a produce flame, and yeah. But I don't, I'm not as used to the water now anymore, so I gotta dry this stupid thing out.
Actually, hearing this conversation between Gallenford and Caradwin, I turn to Caradwin and say, well, there's no time like the present. Oh, you continued. Don't you think that's a little bit extreme? Even if, and I look at Sonia, even if she is a threat to us, I think that as a group, she would be less of a threat. If she were to try to face all of us, I mean, we've got Stig on our side. Really, I would just love to see the two of them arm wrestle.
And unless she can mind control Stig, and then we're in real trouble.
Oh God, yeah. Well, I didn't. That
Mind control? Is that what happened to him? Is that why I saw a girl screaming out into my head?
Gallifrey will finally step out of the dome. Okay, so how do you know so much about what is happening? How did you hear Nyx in your head?
Well, I was praying for a lead, and the lead I found was the sound of a little girl screaming out as she died. I don't know what my god was trying to tell me, but all I was doing is trying to find a lead.
A lead to what, if you don't mind us asking?
I've been traveling several years in search of a monster who's killed several people in my village, tribe. And for some reason, it's connected to her.
Oh God, what did Nyx nurture back to health that went crazy? Not another bone regard, I hope.
Can you describe this creature?
The thing is, I don't even know what this creature looks like. And it's been 17 years since it happened, so even then, all I remember is a force in the darkness came and snatched up my father and little sister, and they were left.
Well, if you're looking if you're looking to identify it, you should talk to Stig.
Hi, I'm Stig.
I mean, you should talk to Green Guy.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know who Stig was until you said Green Guy. Thank you.
Guys, I think she's describing the thing that's been haunting Nyx. Out of curiosity, when asking her these questions, does she sound trustworthy when I'm listening to her responses?
You can give me an insight check. Hearing her words and her story, and after the creature from Nyx and what Nyx has described in the past, you believe that she is here genuinely and is not a. She's not here to deceive or harm or threaten you.
Gallenford's just gonna talk over his shoulder. Caradwin, I think we can trust her.
Look, if you guys don't want me in there, we can settle this tomorrow morning. I don't. I know I'm a stranger. I can just go over where that tree is. I don't really care if that's gonna make you feel better.
I think that's a lovely idea.
It's definitely too late to be thinking about these things.
My apologies. We just lost someone, and Caradwin here is slow to trust.
It's fine. I am keeping watch on the dome, so I will stay outside with Sonia, and I tell you, I'll share stories with her about adventures she's been on and what she's experienced, and I'll talk about things I've done, and we'll just make a fire, and well, I mean, eventually she'll probably need to sleep, but
Yeah,
I'll
a fire
spend-
sounds
I'll-
pretty nice about now.
yeah, let's start. I mean, I have a tinderbox. If you're hungry, I even have rations that I brought that apparently I'm not hungry.
So yeah, so you pull out these spectral rations and you realize, well,
Oh, that's right. They only work on me,
Yeah.
and I have no appetite. So
you're like, here, Sonia, here's a ration, and it's sparkly and you can see through it, and yeah.
I think I'll just stick to my dried berries in my pack.
that's fair. I didn't. This is the first time that I've done this out of body experience type thing. So I'm unfamiliar with how it works. I'll learn as I go. But I do realize that my stomach is not rumbly and I don't get hungry. I also will take the time as I'm speaking with Sonia that I notice that there's no, like when you breathe and it's cold, like smoke comes out of your mouth,
Yeah, the
whatever
steam.
the condensation. That's not happening. Like I'm not breathing. I realize I'm not breathing. And I don't get tired. This is kind of interesting.
Are you some type of ghost?
Some type of ghost is an accurate description, except that I'm not dead. My God has given me the ability to project myself to wherever I am needed the most. Currently, it happens to be here. So my physical form is still home, and this is I guess you could call it an avatar of myself. I can still feel things. I feel pain. I feel physical touch. But there are some other benefits that I'm just now learning about.
Huh. It looked like she just had a glazed look on her face. I used her explaining this whole thing. Okay.
It's a similar expression that Stig usually gives.
Yes, I'm used to that expression. Now, granted, Aurora is not super intelligent. I have an 11 intelligence, but I am definitely more wise and charismatic. So it's not like I'm book smart, but I do read people well, and I'm apparently pretty likable. I have an 18 charisma, so I'm pretty.
That's okay. We've got the book smarts covered, right, Caradwin?
Yeah. Yeah, Caradwin definitely is the smart one here. And also extremely cautious. I'm learning.
This shit has happened in the past 24 hours for them, so.
That's true.
So
But don't worry, I'm here, and apparently the gods themselves have taken an interest in your tribulations, because they've now sent 2 messengers.
Yeah,
2 heroes.
Aurora, you give me an insight check.
Ooh, that I am not. I don't suck at. I am good at that.
Well, while they're doing that, Stig will bid them good night and try not to kill each other. And then as he lays down, he goes, "Boy, I hope nobody else just shows up randomly. That would be weird."
God, I really hope somebody shows up randomly.
Kenzie, no. Aurora, after you say that and kind of talking like the gods have sent 2 warriors, it's almost like clicking in your mind a little bit. The gods themselves are sending in champions to this group and are being more active than usual. Something is going on that you are unaware of that in order to send you, Sonia, and perhaps other things that you are unaware of that are making them act.
Actually, that leads me to the thought that if gods that can be considered on the more benign side, good gods as they are becoming more involved, perhaps the evil ones are also becoming more involved, which could be bad.
Oh, like a League of Evil people?
Right, maybe since you and I are sent as heroes to help this group in whatever their task they're doing, maybe the gods of darkness are sending their own champions to counter us.
Man, all I wanted to do was avenge my family. Now I'm stuck in a war. I didn't sign up for this.
Nobody signs up for a war with the gods.
Did you read the fine print in your contract?
I don't have a contract.
That you know of.
Well, that's your first.
So
You should have had a contract.
I didn't even know.
You always got to read the fine print. Learn that to join in the military.
I understand that not all of you are people of faith. You don't follow a god with a zeal like perhaps Sonia does or I do. But it takes a certain amount of faith. You trust that your God, who bestows you with your gifts, also has your best interests in mind.
Well, I mean, I guess that's what faith is, I guess.
So, the night goes on. You guys get a full rest, and as the cloud parts, I know the best way I can describe it is as you look up in the night sky, it's definitely different than in the prime material plane. It's more bright. You can see more of like the universe. I don't know if some of you have played the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, especially the Shivering Isles DLC. So think of it as as the night sky there. That's the best way I can describe the night sky here in the Feywild. It's very more bright. I mean, again, you can see the universe and everything like that. There's like no night pollution, but there's more colors, purples and greens. It's very, very magical in a sense.
Now, Chris, when we do this rest, this counts as a full rest for me as well?
Yes. No matter what, a short rest or a long rest will count as a long rest for you.
So, the only clarifying question I want to know about that, I get that the healing might work like a full rest for me, but what about changing my spells? Can I then shuffle spells with a short rest instead of a long rest?
Oh, I didn't think about that. I would say, in this case, no. You would have to take a long rest in the Feywild. A short rest will heal you back up and recover everything, but you would need to take a long
No, that's
rest.
fair. I'd say just when we long rest is the only time I'll change spells.
Yes.
Regardless. So I'm changing spells right now. That's why I'm asking. Because this is a long rest for the party.
Yes, you can do that, but for a short rest for the party, you will not be able to do that.
But I do regain spell slots.
Yes, you would gain the
Okay.
benefits of a long rest, except for being able to change spells.
Okay, fair. I like it.
But yeah, the morning comes. You guys start a small fire to kind of warm yourself up. It is a bright, it's a bright day today. So, what do you do?
First thing, Galliford brings Excalibur back.
Mason's gonna wake up early and start breakfast.
And I will also do my daily routine of casting Aid, choosing myself, Caradwyn, and Mason.
I bid good morning to the group as you exit your dome, and I say I've spent the night with Sonia here, and I think her intentions are pure, are true. She is literally sent with only the knowledge that she is supposed to help us achieve some goal that both she and you kind of share at the moment. Or are connected to in some strange way.
You know, it's a shame that we told Aurora that story earlier, because now we have to tell the whole thing again to Sonia.
No, I think I probably filled her in before she fell asleep. We shared a bunch of stories last night before she nodded off.
Oh, good.
And,
You're all caught up then.
Yeah, I would say that at least as far as what you've told Aurora, I would have shared it with Sonia. And then I learned a little bit about her, where she came from and stuff. She told me some stories about herself as well.
Sonia, would you have told her?
Yeah, I guess I'm assuming that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I want to make sure. I'm not trying to.
She would say she's from a land of giants, and she left behind some family, but hasn't really said too much quite yet because she just met them. But maybe if we get to know each other a bit better, I'll say more.
That's fair. But my impression, I mean, I guess, Chris, you asked me for an insight check, which I rolled a 22, so...
That was for the god thing, yes.
Okay, so my assumption is that that she doesn't have any evil intent.
Correct. You can give me a religion check to see what you know about Sonia's god.
Ooh, okay. I'm actually good at that, too. And I never thought it would be useful.
Because she did say, oh, okay.
God damn.
So what you know is what the god, the specific god Sonia worships, even Zolkortum. Zolkortum is almost like in giant hierarchy. He is the leader of the giant pantheon. He is basically a storm giant that ascended to godhood in the times of the Great War between gods and the Great Old Ones. So and so it's kind of like it's almost very similar to dragon hierarchy. There is a giant god for each race of for each giant. So there's a storm, cloud, fire, stone, hill giant. There's one of each of those gods, but she's worshipped specifically the leader of all of them. And you know that after the Greek gods, after the old gods were wiped out, they kind of maintained or inhabited what we would know as Mount Olympus.
Ah.
But so yeah, she worships basically the king of the giant gods.
Okay.
And he is definitely a powerful storm god that you witnessed last night be able to send one of his followers to aid you.
Carried on the wings of a lightning bolt, as it were, it seems that's how you traveled through the thunder and lightning, which passed from the mortal plane to the Feywild. That's quite extraordinary. That should definitely be part of your memoirs there, Sonia, that you traveled through space and time through a storm to another plane of existence.
I didn't think about it that way. Maybe I will.
And also, Aurora, you will know that with that 24 as well, giants and dragons don't typically get along as well. They would work together if needed, but they usually just leave each other alone.
Gotcha.
Well,
there are no dragons here in this group. Right? We don't have a dragonborn.
About dragons?
We don't have a dragonborn in this group, I don't think.
Closest thing is Fulgurite.
I'm thinking of the other group in which is it Brad that plays the dragonborn?
Yeah, do you know who he is? Do you know who his father is?
Right.
But
that's this group. Is that this group?
No.
No, you're thinking of the dead. You're thinking of the dead men.
The dead men. Okay, thank you. Yeah, sorry, I got the two campaigns mixed up. Yeah. Thank God. For a second, I thought, oh shit, we're gonna have some issues. Okay.
No, the closest we have is fire elementals.
Right, but they can get along with Sonia's people. But I turn to Caradwyn, and I say, I know that you are ever the cautious and practical one, friend. But I can vouch. I will vouch that Sonia means the party no ill intent. And the next time you create your fancy dome, you should allow her entrance. I think that it's best if she travel with us. I mean, we can't say no to an extra... And I turn to see what kind of weapon you wield. What do you carry on you?
A morning star. It's a morning star.
It's a very big mace with spikes on it, yes. I think...
Yeah.
I think who can say no to that? I still, at some point, would like to see Stig and Sonia arm wrestle, but that can wait.
Let's do it right now. Mason wants in on an arm wrestling contest.
But I'll put some gold down.
Okay, is this your custom? You want me to beat you all at a arm wrestling?
Well, I turn and I chuckle a little bit and I say, "You're assuming that you'll beat us all in the way that you said that. My money is on Stig."
Normally I would be all for this, but given the situation of what we just went through yesterday and our task at hand, maybe we should put this off to better times.
I look to Gallenford and say, trust the bard to remove the levity from the situation.
I was going to consider it a group bonding exercise.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. But if it is Gallenford's home, and I get the fact that Gallenford would probably be the most, distressed right now, as it were, because you've suffered a lot of fucking trauma since you got here, my friend.
And the sooner it is taken care of, the sooner I can stop being so damn serious.
All right. Another time
very
then.
Serious.
Another time then. Stig, I suggest you, lift some weights or something. She looks pretty big.
And I will point out that you notice that Stig is a bit more toned than you remember, because he's now expertise in athletics.
Oh, dude, you have been exercising.
I think it's also a little bit of the after effects of the curse as well.
Well, some of the things that you guys would recognize about Aurora, I have a few new, my armor is updated and newer. I still carry the same sword, but I have this fancy new cloak that is very, very, very nice. All of my magic items I love are actually in my character image that I chose. So, even the gauntlets kind of look fancy.
Well, if you two are going to be accompanying us for a while, I build things, and we have... Nyx isn't using this ring of spell refueling. Would either of you find it useful, or shall I build it into something else?
I'm all right. You can keep it.
I'm not even 100% certain I could use it. But no, you go ahead. You keep it. I'm actually curious to see what you'll build out of it.
We will rebuild the thing into... Let's see. There's all the things I can build.
Leaf guy and witchy girl. I love it. She's gonna have a nickname for everyone.
Green guy, leaf guy, witchy girl, bright eyes, fire guy.
You gotta write all those down. I think that needs to. I'm gonna just change my name to Bright Eyes.
So, you all get into the Galliford mounts Excalibur. The rest of you, one by one. It takes a couple trips, but you get into the boat that the rest of you had to cross on. Where do you?
Wait a minute. Can we bring our mounts onto this boat?
That's why I say it's going to take a couple turns.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
We have,
I mean,
to
technically, I
take
could
them
dismiss
out.
my
Then
speed,
we have to.
but
take
I don't
them
want
out.
to.
We have to take them out, set it there, go back, pick up Aurora, put her down. Got to pick up the mount though, because she'll just head off with it. Got to go back.
Galliford would fly who would back just to speed things up too.
Yeah, my mount will listen to, like, you can talk to it in common and it understands you. If you say wait here, it'll wait there. With no animal handling check required, and as long as it likes you.
You know, Caradwin's familiar actually speaks back.
I know, I wish I'll get there. When I can find a greater steed, not just a regular steed, then it can talk.
So
I'm not quite that powerful yet, sorry.
So where do you guys?
We get to the shore.
Yeah, where? Which side
So
of the
we're
lake?
heading towards the cave beast up to the top right.
So we should probably head this direction.
Okay.
And then get to the trail as fast as possible.
I don't know where I'm going, so I am just trusting you guys to lead me. I don't know this area.
I think
Do we
we're,
have a
We're
map?
all in new territory now.
I think we're
So
relying
are
on
we
Gallon.
just kind of following Galliford? Galliford knows this region, I assume.
Yes, and I actually do. I think Galliford was a little forgot his plans since we had some new arrivals that were unexpected. And I forgot that we were originally going to stop at that town. But he's now noticing Mason is fine, so that's not necessary. So we're just going through these mountains up towards the cave then.
Okay.
Holy crap, dude! Sorry, that was in response to Mason there. That Boots of the Winding Path is freaking awesome. I want those.
Okay, next time we settle down, I'll put some together.
That's fantastic. Why didn't you pick that? Well, maybe David had different ones.
So
What do those do?
They basically give you a teleport. You can
When you move, you can teleport backwards along your path as like a bonus action.
a creature can teleport up to 15 feet as a bonus action to an unoccupied space. The creature must have occupied that space at some point during the current turn. So
Yeah,
you can go back to a space you were in.
You can back.
So it's like you run up, attack, and then teleport to your original position or
Yeah,
something.
15 feet back. Yeah, so actually that's still awesome. I still want that.
So
yeah,
That was my plan to do that, but then I found out that I'm like one of the two front people, so it's like I'm not supposed to fall back.
so
no, this would be perfect because I'm yeah. No, I would love it. So yes, I mean, when you list those things that you can make, I would be talking to you going, wow, I would. That seems like it could have a tactical benefit if we were to come under attack by enemies. I would love to give those a try.
As your first time in the Feywild, I would definitely say stay alert.
Well, I am not trained in perception, so I'm going to let you guys do that alert thing. I have a 12 passive perception. I'm not the most alert person. I trust that my god looks out for me.
So who's leading the way?
Gallenford, push him forward.
Okay.
Yeah, push him. I'm right behind you, though, buddy. If you come under attack, I've got your back.
Gallenford, since you're leading, give me a perception check.
Okay, Excalibur is watching as well.
Oh, are we? We're not in the water anymore. I would be riding my mount, Chris.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, you guys are walking through the foothills.
Yeah, I'm not riding ahead of the group. I'm just trotting alongside them.
So, easy enough, Gallenford, you see what seems to be smoke coming from a distant hillside. You could definitely tell that it is perhaps a campfire.
Oh, head in that direction. So I might find someone else from the Feywild that might be able to give me some answers. So I'll head towards that.
Okay. Yeah, you guys, as Gallenford points it out, you all see it. You eventually, Gallenford, coming up over the hillside, you do see what seems to be a small camp. Some makeshift tents are up and whatnot. And you see kind of people kind of sitting around. And it just also at this time, as you're winding through the hillsides and whatnot, it is getting late. The sun is beginning to set.
We may be able to get some shelter with the people here. And then I could probably get some answers about things going on. Any objections?
No?
Nope.
I'm happy meeting new people. That's what I'm good at. If I remember right, you were also good at it, my friend.
Negotiator, though not as successful on some of our missions, but we'll see.
So,
Well, you've always had a way with words.
So you all make your way down and you approach the camp. It becomes very obvious right away for you, Gallenford, that these are survivors of the attack. You recognize that you recognize that perhaps that's with their disheveled looks and everything like that. And these makeshift camps, like you definitely can tell that these are perhaps survivors from Everfall that somehow miraculously escaped. And they all
Gallenford will kind of rush in, realizing this to check on people, comfort them. Curious if anyone recognizes him when he does.
They see you, however, a figure stands between you and them. And he has a bow in his hand. Kenzie, do you want to go ahead and introduce your character?
In front of you, you see what used to be a wood elf. Medium build, sunken face, glowing red eyes. Leather-bound Victorian coat, fangs peeking out over his lips.
Did you say fangs peeking out over his lips?
eat.
Good answer, Stig.
Go ahead, Kenzie. Continue. Kenzie.
Strong silent type, apparently.
Kenzie, are you there?
I think his mic may have cut out. I'm checking.
Okay. But yeah, he stands in front of you, Gallenford, ready to defend these people from you.
I nudge you, Gallenford. I dismount and then nudge you in the shoulder and say, I don't think he recognizes you.
Mason will walk up and he's like, maybe they do recognize him. Remember from the story, it was his imposter dad who caused the town. They may think it was his fault.
But regardless of whether or not he recognizes you, he is cursed. That much is clear. And I will draw my sword.
Gallenford will wave his hand behind for you to lower your blade and will not draw his because the first thing he did notice, cursed or not, this figure is defending survivors from his home.
Just to
Or,
say he's not going to use them as like bait or something.
Exactly. Or they're his prisoners, his thrall, whatever. I will let you take the lead. I'll take a step back behind you so you can address this newcomer and see what his story is. But I'm not going to sheath my sword. I keep it out. Remember, it's my mission to destroy vampires and werewolves. And this person looks like a vampire to me. So I'm very cautious and very nervous about the fact that you're just standing in front of a vampire. Like, yeah, let's chill. Let's be homies.
Stig will place a hand on your shoulder and he says, let's just give him a chance.
I'm going to give him a chance. I agree. I'll let Gallenford take the lead here, but I can't speak my intent right now. I'll just step back.
Also, you notice Stig doesn't have his gills anymore because he's back to his leap power.
I am gonna have to ask you about this later, Stig. Aurora is very curious what's going on with you.
Yeah, he doesn't have gills or webbed feet, but man, does he got legs now.
Right? I'm like, dude, you are essentially a changeling, and I did not know that you had that ability.
I've got a whole... Well, I gave Chris 5 backstories that he hasn't told me which one he chose yet.
So, Kenzie, is your mic working?
And I really hope it works. I was looking forward to this introduction.
I know.
Give us a sign you're still here.
Give us a sign.
We're just in the middle of a cutscene. It's like it's done once around his character, and it's like zoomed in to do the dialogue box, but the dialogue box hasn't opened up yet.
The game is frozen. We
Kenzie,
gotta reboot.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, it's like he's supposed to have an opening line, but it's still, like, loading.
Doug, are you able to hear him, or are you talking to him?
Yeah. While this is happening, Gallenford has his hands up, where it's not near a weapon, as he's just slowly approaching.
Kenzie, if you're speaking, we can't hear you.
Perhaps this would be a good time for our break?
We could take a quick 5-minute break.
Ooh. I could refill my soda. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. So, Gallenford, this archer is in front of you, standing his ground, guarding the survivors from between you and them.
I see you are protecting my kin. I mean you no harm. I mean them no harm.
I point my bow at the group. Who are you and what do you want?
We are the Meddlers of Mischief. We try to help the town, my home, before those monstrosities attacked. Were you there?
Was. I got those who couldn't fend for themselves out.
So you fought off the creatures, and I'll keep slowly approaching, waving behind myself to the group that I don't sense a threat.
I'm gonna do an action. That.
Okay. Actually, I need to. I gotta go find a book real quick.
As my bright eyes get even brighter for just a moment as I open my awareness to good and evil, to try to sense whether there are, whether this creature in front of us is of evil or not.
At least it doesn't include Fae, because it just, like, target everything.
I know. Everything lights up around me. I'm like, oh, shit.
Everything is Fae.
I
don't know about you,
have
but
my-
I think Gallenford needs his danger sense check. The guy is pointing a bow at us.
Okay.
He is.
We also are a group of highly armed strangers.
I do also have my sword out. But I am allowing Gallenford to take the lead on this, but I do want to sense if Gallenford is in danger, is really why I'm doing this.
So you get the sense with your celestial fiend or undead, you do not detect any of those three creatures, at least within types of creatures within your vicinity. Even though he is generating vampiric-like features, you do not get an undead sense from him.
Yes. No, that's perfect. So I will lower my sword. I will not sheath it. But every time I have sensed a vampire, this has triggered, right? So anytime I've come across vampires or werewolves, well, I guess our werewolves aren't undead, are they?
No, they are humanoid, technically. Or
Yeah, okay. So, but when I've come across vampires, they've all been undead. So since this doesn't go off, I'm not going to just immediately save Gallenford by striking this guy down. I'm going to wait and see how this plays out.
Maybe he's got that same shape-shifting problem Stig has.
Maybe. It could be anything, but he's definitely not a vampire per se, or at least one like I've encountered.
I'm a scientist, not a doctor.
It's not a problem, it's a feature.
Gallenford is on top of Excalibur also, so
Okay.
the mount is pretty fierce, so Gallenford doesn't feel very threatened while on top of Excalibur.
Oh,
but
you're
his hands
still
are
mounted while you're talking to this guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got off my mount.
Excalibur is coming in, but isn't coming threatening either. He's, like how a knight on a horse that is highly trained and it's kind of walking at attention. That is how Excalibur is approaching with Gallenford's hands up as he's talking. And he's trying to get a peek over at the people to get a good sight of what remains, how everyone's looking. Are they ragged? Are they looking fine and protected.
As you get closer, I pull my hood over my face.
Said you pulled it over your face?
Well, in front of me, you're higher than me, so you can be looking down. I'm hiding it from you.
There is no need to hide if you indeed protected my people.
You do not intend harm. I'll let you live.
Kinsey, what's your character's name again? Your character's name is
Stig shouts out, "Hey, what's your name?"
Coslin. Coslin or Kaislin?
Roslyn.
Coslin. Go give me an insight check to see if you can get a read off Gallenford. Oh, that should be set up for. You should not.
He might not know. He might not know how
No,
to do that.
no, that's fine. Yep, will. But but with that roll, so for right now, we'll use the 14. We'll do our normal rule is on our previous roll on the left hand side until we get your character to get that fixed. Well, Gallenford, you can do that while you have access to the character sheet. But anyways, you get a sense that Gallenford is not here to harm or attack this group of refugees. And you do recognize him a little bit from the short battle that happened on the top of the clock tower in the center of town when you were at the festival. And the people recognize him as well, and they're a bit nervous around him too. You notice, just due to the fact that before all the fight, Gallenford was called an imposter and everything like that, but right now you don't get a sense that Gallenford means any harm towards you or the refugees.
I lower my bow, still keeping the arrow knocked. And you were there, weren't you?
Indeed, I was.
They shouted terrible things about you.
A misunderstanding. For some odd reason, everyone thought me to be dead, but as you can see, and I kind of have Excalibur spin as my arms are kind of extended out, I'm very much alive.
Indeed, it seems. Where are you headed?
I am heading to kill the creatures that serve the one responsible for what happened to the town.
Revenge. Just my type.
I prefer to call it justice, but I agree that revenge and justice are separated by a very thin line.
One might say they share the same bed.
Indeed.
I can always let the readers decide when I write everything out later.
History is written by the victors.
And the meddlers of mischief will be those victors.
Ooh, the confidence on this guy. I like him.
That's why he does the talking.
Well, we are gathering quite a bit of new comrades, it seems. Normally I'm a little bit more, "Hi, my name is Gallenford. little bit more cheerful, but that'll probably happen after I get my revenge. But you're
Well-
welcome to join.
But if this one joins with us, who will protect the townsfolk? The survivors here.
That's a good question. Have you been the only one protecting the people?
I have. No one here can defend themselves.
Unless there is a safe place we can take them, it seems like you have a duty. A duty. Yeah, I guess I said that wrong. You have a calling already if you have chosen to defend these innocents.
Well, this crossroads up here does lead. Was this the capital that you put up here?
That's not the capital, but it is a major city. Again, this is not the whole Feywild that you're looking at on the map. This is just where you mainly grew up, Gallenford, and adventured with your brother.
Well, perhaps there is a safe place we can lead these innocents to, where they could be sheltered while we deal out justice.
There is a major city up the road. It may be why the people were heading in this direction.
If
We
you
can
would help me
accompany
get
them.
these people to safety, I would offer your group my bow in exchange.
It would be my duty to help guide my people. And the fact that you aided them has earned my trust.
Trust is going a little far, but as long as I don't find an arrow in my back, I suppose if you're a good shot with that thing and it's not just for show, we could use your assistance.
I'm just happy you weren't there to see those horrors, Aurora. If you understood what this person probably helped fight them to get through.
You forget what Aurora's job description is, Gallenford. She might know a little bit more.
I've seen
They
some
might
pretty
do.
horrific things, yes. But I admit I didn't see what you have seen. But whether or not I've seen anything similar is yet to be decided. We'll see. But whatever horrors we face, we do face them stronger together than alone. And if we can do anything to prevent another loss of life in this group, I am all for that. In other words, newcomer, Kinsey, you said your name was?
Caslin.
Caslin. If you have our backs, we will have yours.
I sling my bow over my back. Then it's settled. And for what it's worth, if I wanted you dead, you'd never see it coming.
I don't know. We've got an awful lot of eyes looking out, but
I was going to say, the confidence on this one matches Gallenford's. They are two peas in a pod. But I do look at Sonia, and based on the discussion that just her and I had last night, I wish I had telepathy, but I don't. So I'm going to just wait until I have a moment to say something to Sonia where nobody else overhears.
By the way, Aurora, did you? Mason asked you earlier at camp when Sonia arrived. Do you speak Primordial?
I do not.
Okay. I'm looking for a language I can speak to somebody without everybody overhearing. But I only
speak-
speak Primordial.
I speak Celestial, because, I'm a freaking angel. What are my languages?
Anyway.
Oh, gosh.
I just remember I was in a group where everybody spoke Elvish, and that was kind of our code language.
Yep.
Oh, hey, Stig and Sonia can speak in giant to each other.
Don't you already have a girlfriend?
What? Girlfriend?
That's a great response. That's funny.
You guys begin to settle with the camp as night begins to befall around them. They are Galliford. They are nervous. These survivors are nervous around you, but they do welcome the extra protection after the trauma they have went through with everybody else. You begin to convert. Some of you converse with them, comfort them, and everything like that. Break bread and everything and whatnot, and you guys begin to. Everybody begins to settle in for the evening.
So, Caslin, how did you end up on the Feywild?
It is a long and drawn out story. It would take many years of your life away for me to tell you.
Fair enough. And he turns away to talk to somebody else.
Yeah, I guess he is an elf, so he's probably lived several of our lifetimes by now.
Hey, man, you just say I don't want to talk about it. That's fine. That works.
So, while we're talking around the campfire, if you could, there is something. Obviously, it's not like you're hiding it. Something has happened to you, Caslin, in your history, that has caused you to. How could I put this delicately? Lose some of the grace of the elven race in your appearance, so to speak. Perhaps it's some great tragedy or trauma that caused you to take on this appearance of someone perhaps cursed. If it is a curse, I have the power to remove curses.
Some might call it a curse, but I call it a blessing.
Please explain how this could be a blessing. And I mean this with all due respect. It's just your appearance is a bit off-putting to those who are fighting against darkness and evil. You kind of embody the things that we strive to rid the world of.
My grace was taken from me against my will, and in its place I was given power overwhelming.
And you utilize this power, obviously, for good.
I utilize it for those who need it, or for those who will pay me.
Of what their morality may be. So, would you serve the darkness with this power?
It's the darkness that I hunt. The people who run it, the beings who know its inner workings.
Well, that I can respect. Fighting fire with fire, as it were. Using, the powers of darkness against it can be a powerful weapon, indeed.
At your statement of fire versus fire, Mace is going to look up and like, what?
Plus, if we needed to send a scout to get close to someone on, that's corrupted, you might be the perfect fit for such a mission.
I've indeed been on many missions alike.
I usually consider myself a fairly good judge of character, and at the moment, consider yourself fairly judged.
I may
But-
look terrifying, but I promise that if you stand with me against the darkness, I stand with you.
That's okay. We know how to stand with darkness, don't we, Caradwin?
Oh shit! Nice.
Fully ignoring my comment.
Bone horses and all.
She's nice. She just takes a little getting used to.
Not that I haven't been keeping up with this conversation, but I would appreciate a little bit more specific than the darkness.
Well, since we have welcomed you into our camp, and you have said that you would help us, I guess I can throw you all a bone. I was taken by an unnamed order hundreds of years ago, and they made me into this. Half vampire, half elf. Some would say neither.
Stig will just two thumbs on his chest and he goes, "Tell you to be honest, I've been there."
It's a sad story indeed, but he tells the truth. He has been there.
Guess while we're sorting over some items and actually all sitting here, I'll stop being all pouty over what just happened, and maybe we should all introduce each other's with our stories, as Caslin just did here.
Well, I respond to Sonia's comment here in the chat, and I shake my head, shake my head side to side. Not half dead. If he were, my senses would have picked up on that. It seems that he is fully in the world of the living, but perhaps comes with the gifts, like he said. That his, he called it a blessing, provides him.
You know, I did scoff at it, but it does kind of sound like what I got.
This means you can walk in the sun. Yes?
Sunlight does not bother me.
Well, we met him during the day. He does carry that hood, you know, the hood on, but he pulled the hood down when you were mounted in daylight.
Well, with a face like that, wouldn't you hide it too?
I don't know. Maybe tact is something you would want to exercise.
9 charisma.
Remember, I'm trying
you just
to play an
offered to
18 charisma.
cure it.
Sometimes that's your inside voice, my friend. With a face like that. Ouch.
9 charisma, by the way.
I know.
I mean,
No, that
he
was
could use
beautiful.
some makeup, but I think he'd be fine otherwise. Maybe some blush.
I mean, if you can stand the sunshine, a tan. No, I won't say that because I don't have a 9 charisma. No, I think somebody asked. Who was it? Was you Gallenford? Were you hinting that you wanted to hear more about Sonia? Yeah, tell me more about yourself, Sonia, is what you put here in the chat.
Do we all just want to do quick introductions?
That was my thoughts and intentions.
Roll our anime intro.
I am very interested to hear Caradwin's backstory.
Carowin's
Well,
identifying. We could save her for last.
I think it's just to introduce Kinsey, just like name, character.
Name, race, class, backstory.
All right. There's also some items that if you remember, there was also a scroll of character if you're casting identify, and a potion that you picked up, and on the first level of the lair, and you still haven't identified yet the lantern you were given many moons ago. But so what I'll just kind of speed this along. So the scroll you find out is a scroll of lesser restoration.
That might be useful, but that's one of my oath spells. I always have that prepared. Lesser restoration.
Well, you might not be around all the time, so it's good.
I might not. It is a handy thing to have.
The
Just
potion
saying that is not a threat to your life.
the potion is a potion of climbing. You've the weapon is a +1 warhammer.
I'm typing these all out too if you just want to read through them.
Okay. The leather armor is +1 leather armor. The boots are boots of speed.
Ooh.
What are those?
And the shield is an arrow catching shield.
I do appreciate how Caradwin is basically just pulling out all these magic items in front of this new guy and a bunch of strangers.
It's
I'm
actually
waiting-
probably Gallenford's fault for setting them in front of her.
I'm waiting for Gallenford to dump out our 20,000 gold coins as he starts counting them again.
Yeah, how much did we get from the Ablab fight? I don't think I put that in the...
I will type it out. And the last item, the lantern, is a lantern of clairvoyance.
Lantern of Clairvoyance. Okay.
Ooh, what does a lantern of clairvoyance do? That
So,
sounds cool.
I forgot to write it down, but basically it shows you light it, you put a candle in it. If you remember, it was given to the party right before they were heading to Hermon, and it's supposed to guide them to their goal, essentially. So it gives you, so it will show you the most direct path to what your current goal is. And so you don't, it's to help you not get lost.
I like it.
It's our Zinfarel in a bottle.
Considering
so
the
only thing that's
dragon-
confirmed right now is the person for Mason. Does anybody use a warhammer or a shield?
Dig's already packing 3 heavy weapons.
I could use a shield, but Chris would hate me.
Well, they also have an animated shield, and I can't remember if they have a third one.
I think I kept asking who had the animated shield, because I can use shields, but it helps if my hand is still free.
And
I didn't know we had an animated shield.
And here
It's not on the. Oh, sure.
you got the animated shield from Alzaka's treasure hoard.
Oh, do I have that on my character sheet?
Okay, wait. An arrow catching shield says you get a +2 bonus to AC against ranged attacks while you wield the shield. This bonus is in addition to the shield's normal bonus to AC. So it gives you a +2 to AC, but a +4
To
if
range.
it's a ranged attack.
Oh,
Holy shit.
Pretty good.
That would give me a 24 armor class against ranged attacks.
And for coinage, I'm going to type out the coinage. You got 11.
Aurora, is your armor magical?
My armor is, but it doesn't require attunement because it's not. I mean, it's adamantine armor.
So I'm the one that has. Caradwin has the animated shield on her. I wrote it in the wrong spot. So if anybody wants the animated shield, you can take it. I can't
But
use it.
I stylistically don't use a shield because I sword fight with two hands on my longsword, like Geralt. So
I will use the animated
for
shield.
now, I'm going to pass on the shield, but if I start getting hit a lot, I might take it.
I forgot Aurora's never seen Stig fight because he's got gloves that allow him to wield two-handed weapons in one hand.
Ooh, nice.
Chris, how much would you say those 6 art pieces weigh?
Ooh, that's a lot of money.
You should have seen the amount before we spent a bunch upgrading our fort.
Where did we get this money from?
They
Was
got this from the temple.
After we fought an aboleth for it.
That's quite the hoard. 1,600
It
flat.
would have been split between the 3 surviving party members.
That's true. You did pay in blood for that gold. It's blood money.
But we will have to carry this on person because the bag of holding has 4.5 pounds of free space. Unless we start dumping like bedrolls and things.
Maybe you should just dump everything out of the bag of holding and we put what we want to keep back in it.
You know, we just met a big group of people who can help us.
Is anybody messing with the notes page? I'm going to edit it so I can add to the party treasure.
I closed
Yeah,
it so
but-
we can make adjustments.
We have to decide if we can even carry this treasure. How are we carrying it currently?
All right, hold on. There's actually a chart, and I just rolled for it. So let's see. We got a 9, which is and you have an obsidian statue with gold fitting and inlay.
Mason, you can't turn one of those artifacts you can make into a bag of holding?
No, I showed you the 6 that I know how to make. If I wanted to
Right.
learn something else, it'd be a level
Gotcha.
change.
Gotcha. Okay.
If we have any other bags laying around, we could put something in there and Excalibur can hold
Yeah, I was
some
going
of
to
these
say our
items.
mount will have to hold some of it,
Yeah.
and then
I am curious
Stig.
I am curious what Kazlin's reaction is to us dumping all this magic stuff out.
They spit on the ground and turn away from the group.
No interest in gold. I can tell that you have eyes for vengeance similar to me right now.
I mean,
11,000.
gold can assist in those kinds of things. But, you know, the altruist in me thinks that perhaps these villagers, these survivors, could use some of this treasure. And charity is always a welcome blessing in this world, since there's so little of it. We don't have to give it away, all of it. But I am I'm a paladin. I don't need wealth. Give it to the people.
Caradrin's already like putting little piles for her next list of spells.
That's the
Oh, yeah, I'm not giving away any money. That's all my money.
That's the artwork.
What's the artwork? Oh, those are the art pieces?
Yes, those are the art pieces.
Okay.
So the heaviest thing would be the longsword.
Mason, what does enhanced defense do?
It adds a +1 to armor.
Can you add that to my adamantine armor?
If it's not considered magical. I can't infuse a magical item.
Gotcha. Is adamantine armor magical?
It's in the magic item list. It's magical.
But you guys are going to have to carry your gold amount because we cannot fit it in the bag. So the gold is going to have to be carried by PCs or on the Griffin.
Are you telling
same with the magic items?
Are you telling us to clear out our stuff?
Well, let's see, because Mason has a tent in here, which is 20 pounds, and an iron pot, which is, I guess, 10. That's crazy. Stig has scale mail that I don't know if we need, and a silvered glaive. That scale mail's taking up a lot of space. And then Caradwin has a bunch of rations, so I could split the rations among people if we need them, but that's the heaviest thing that I have. Gallenford doesn't have anything listed in the bag. Otherwise, there's some books and rope, which is 10 pounds.
She's
I think those are the things I did put in the bag from the Aboleth Temple.
But also, there's already money in the bag, which is almost 300 pounds of just money from everybody, which actually we should... Side note, we should also split Nyx's treasure amount between us, or we could put that in the party funds. I think that's what I'll do. Is I'm gonna just move Nyx's gold to the party funds.
That goes towards the Bear Orphanage.
It's their college fund.
Edwin, don't you have a way of passing things to the professor?
I have a sending spell. Circle of teleportation only works on the same plane.
Didn't he give us a bag where we can like send notes?
Yes, that's what I was thinking of.
Ooh, I have an idea.
I'm not sending him this money. He's going to use it.
If you give me a whole bunch of the treasure, I can just
Nope.
But
stop concentrating on the astral project. No, I can't take stuff with me. Never mind. Chris already told me that.
Yep.
Aurora, you're saying this and nobody's looking at you.
Yeah. I'm like, maybe I can just take it back to my monastery and then I'll come back tomorrow.
Yeah, but it says but if it's big enough to put a note through, we can just handfuls at a time.
These refugees, do any of them have carts or horses or anything like that?
They're carrying what little scraps they have. They don't have. They've been on foot.
Well, I do have my elk, and we can load a bag and throw it over the back of the elk. Elk can carry like 5,000 pounds. They're pretty big fucking animals. Well, maybe not 5,000 pounds. Maybe it's... I don't know what the carrying capacity of an elk is.
I would say probably about...
Like a horse?
Yeah, a horse or like a pack mule type. They can carry a lot of weight.
Well, so I know we spent a lot of money on repairs to our castle, but even with all of that spent, we have a fuck ton of gold, guys, in the party funds.
Okay, so a warhorse
we have
can carry
20,000 gold.
Yeah. And platinum.
Anything that is too heavy?
That's not including what we just got. That's just the stuff before we count up. But I did say everybody, the four survivors, Gallenford, Stig, Mason, and myself get 2,750 gold and 400 platinum. I'm taking all my share. You guys can do whatever you want with yours. I cannot fit that in the bag of holding, so you're going to have to put that on your character sheet. In some capacity.
If you ask Excalibur nice, he will carry it for you.
Well,
guys.
let me see. I can make room in my backpack for some of the treasure.
Yeah, somebody's going to have to hold those art pieces because I don't think we could carry those. The only other thing that we can really get rid of, I don't know, Stig, do you still need the scale mail? Maybe we can donate it to one of the villagers and say, you're the guard now. Here's a glaive and a scale mail.
Nah. Stig will pull. He will pull the glaive out and.
Are there any of these villagers who like don't have anything? Like they've just got the clothes on their backs?
Basically, yes.
I'm gonna go around to a couple of them and offer like each one of them like 2 gold to help us carry this stuff. If you're not carrying anything, you've got nothing worth. Here's your chance to make some money and help us along. I'm just gonna hire a bunch of people.
Well, and when we get to the town where we're gonna put these villagers,
You've been drafted to the Army Corps of Engineers. Welcome.
we can like buy a chest and store our treasure there until we come back with our vengeance sated. You know what I mean? Like we just have to make it to the town, and then we could hell, if we want to dig a hole, we could throw this shit in the ground and bury it if we want, and come back later.
Do I recognize any of the survivors, by the way?
Isn't this how pirate treasure maps are invented? Like they can't carry the treasure, so they bury it and make a map.
You don't recognize any of these individuals, Gallenford. And some of these folks probably are not originally from the Feywild. They came for the festival, some of them.
So just to be clear, Mason is going to spend, let's see, I want to get like 10 people. Yeah, we'll get 10 people, 5 gold apiece, so it's 50 gold.
Carradwin, do you have it like divided up to what our shares would be? Or am I?
For what?
I mean, I guess I wasn't even there, so I don't even know if I qualify for a share.
I mean, you can't take it back with you. What do you need it for?
No,
That's
but
scared with thought process.
that's true. I guess I can't take anything back with me, so whatever. It just I would just ask to spend party gold if I wanted to buy something.
I mean, we have plenty of that. I'm literally splitting the gold based on the 4 people that were there. If anybody of the 4 people, well, the other 3, because Carradwin is going to be fucking greedy about this, want to give up some of their share to anybody else, they can do so. We have a whole lot of money in the party gold. We have 20,000, and again, that's before including this amount. And that's not including the 700 gold pieces we have in silver, and the 1,000 copper, or the 1.6k copper that we have. So we have a ton of party gold.
Well,
if anybody else needs it.
As far as carrying capacity goes, I have 18 pounds of space left in my backpack. So if I times that, what is it? It's 50 coins weigh a pound, right?
100 coins is a pound.
Oh, I thought it was 50.
I know this because I calculated how much a pound of gold is, and then 100 gold pieces is 1 pound, so 1 pound of gold is 100 gold pieces, so we can confirm that a gold piece is solid gold.
I thought it was in the player's handbook.
It is. I always did the math as 50 divided by 50.
I think that's how Roll20 does it too. So if you put in your money on Roll20, it will automatically calculate it.
Yes, it does.
But I put the boots and the shield in your guys' handouts, so for whoever wants them, you guys can look at those.
Gallenford took the animated shield, so I removed that from my sheet. But otherwise, we have all these other magic items: the arrow catching shield, if anybody wants it, boots of speed, whatever. But if anybody wants to claim it later, we can do that too. I don't want to take up too much time on just treasure.
Yeah, Chris has a scene he wants to get to.
So Mason comes back with a group of people and says, whatever doesn't fit in the bag, these people are they've been hired to carry.
So they're going to carry the art and the new magic items that nobody claims, and whatever gold people want to saddle them with.
Hey, they got to start their lives over somehow. This is a good way to start. As long as they don't run away with the money.
Good luck. I'm holding on to all my stuff.
So,
I mean, with the gold, I'm encumbered, but I'm not heavily encumbered.
Like I said, Excalibur is holding a bag full of things now. You can put it on Excalibur.
I found it. Page 143 on the player's handbook. I was right. I knew this is why I'm a fucking rules lawyer. $50 coins weighs a pound.
So there you go, 50 coins. So, you guys...
So if I have 18 pounds of space times 50 coins, I can hold 900 coins in my backpack. Give me all the platinum. Well, I can hold 900 platinum pieces in my backpack.
So you all split the treasure. Night comes, you eat dinner, and you begin to call it a night, essentially. Aurora, you still don't feel, at least, sleepy.
Right. No, it's amazing. I'm kind of enjoying this. Although, now I have to find something to fill up the hours of time where everybody else is sleeping and I'm awake. Although, Kinsey, the name underneath says Kinsey H, so that's why I keep calling you Kinsey.
I don't know if... Kenzie, do you know how to change your name underneath?
It's just go to the little gear icon, and under personalization and display, you change your display name. Or you can change the drop down in the chat box. I think, yeah, Caslin. Okay. There you go. Now it says Caslin. So I will call you that from now on. Caslin, being part elf, I don't know that you need to sleep. Do you sleep, or do you just meditate?
In my world, elves sleep.
Oh, okay. So I'm the only one that doesn't have to sleep.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you all to rest easy. Get some shut-eye. You need your strength for tomorrow. And rest assured, I can keep an eye on things, and I'll wake anybody if anything happens.
So, you all bed
But this
down.
is considered a full rest?
Hold on.
Oh, gotcha. I won't change my spells yet then.
You all... Aurora, you begin to make your rounds. Just kind of keeping an eye on the camp. But you do notice Mason is beginning to stir in his sleep. Like he's having a bad dream.
I will approach where Mason is sleeping and just kind of look and see if his bedroll is not quite comfortable. Maybe he needs a blanket pulled over him.
Still a little soggy from yesterday.
It might still be a little soggy. Yeah, just make sure that Mason is okay. As a matter of fact, I'll kneel down next to where Mason is sleeping and just kind of rest my hand on his shoulder and try to be comforting.
So you rested him. He stops moving and he's laying on his back like a board. And then you see him sit up. His eyes still closed. And he stands up.
Fulgurite's like, what's going on?
I stand up with him, and my hand is still on his shoulder, and I say, "Are you okay?"
His eyes open, and in them you see not the familiar eyes of Mason, but the eyes of someone else. These sickly yellow bird-like eyes. And he smiles. My dear, I am perfectly fine.
I will shake Mason and say, "Wake up! Wake up, Mason!"
Oh, I will return your friend after we've had a conversation.
With me?
You and your compatriots.
Okay, I will at that point slap my other hand on my breastplate and make a very loud ringing noise and say, "Hey, everybody, wake up! Someone wants to have a chat."
What's going on? Why are you waking people?
I will step aside and let Mason speak. I'll remove my hand from Mason's shoulder, by
As
the
the
way.
party and everybody, well, the party mainly, gathers around Mason, Mason floats in the air.
Oh, Jesus. My hand is on my sword hilt now.
I wish to have words with you. I wish to parley.
Stig will brandish his glaive and goes, "Identify yourself."
Let me guess. You the one in the woods near the withered tree?
You reckon you would recognize my name, dear Gallenford, for I am Faru Almenza.
Baru the Menza?
I'm typing it out. And when she speaks that name, Gallenford, you lose all the color in your face. You recognize that name through stories and terror throughout the Feywild, throughout the Autumn Feywild, and Mason grins toothly, and kind of claps his hands like together. Yes. You bead of sweat kind of goes down. You're like, oh, oh fuck.
Is this worse than the thing from the Dark Forest?
The hag that you and your brother last encountered most likely served her.
Oh.
You would know that she is essentially the hag, the arch hag that rules the dark woods that you have to travel to. She's essentially she's like if there's a coven of hags, she is top. Covens, like multiple covens of hags would go to her, and she would lead them. She is Faru Almenza, Queen of the Harpies.
What do you want?
To simply speak and converse. I would like to invite you to my home.
There's not a lot of stories I've heard of where one invited to your home leaves intact.
Oh, I guarantee you will leave intact with all your pretty little limbs, Garenford.
And my companions?
Of course, they are all. I invite them all. And as a gesture of good faith, she snaps her fingers, and all the residents disappear.
What'd you do with them?
No, they're holding all our money. I mean,
I was just gonna say that.
I sent them to a safe location, to the destination. I assure you, they are very, very safe.
insight check.
You can give me an
Yeah,
insight check.
do we trust this thing?
Yeah,
I'm telling you now, I don't trust this thing.
you can all give me an insight check
Thank you.
if you so wish. Yeah.
Good job, Galliford. Sonia's like, whatever.
Yeah, maybe. Coslin, you can give me an insight check as well.
Mason snore. Mason, are you still? Or yeah, you're not. Never mind. You are the one talking.
Yeah,
Mason isn't here right now.
And I just want to say that even in character, I would turn to everybody while this person is speaking through Mason, looking at Stig and Gallenford and Caradwyn, and say, "This seems to happen to you a lot, does it not?"
There is no Mason, only Zool.
Only Taru.
Gallenford, Caradwyn, Aurora, and Coslin, you believe that what she is genuine, she has genuine intent to speak with you, and that she has delivered on this promise that she delivered the rest of the townsfolk to the city unharmed.
Okay, now I gotta wonder why she would do that. But okay, she can talk to us.
So, if you accept, and she snaps her fingers again, and a portal opens up in front of you. Simply step through. And
I'm gonna just re-ask just to ensure this is set. I know how powerful you are. You are promising that me and my friends here will be able to leave intact, not harmed, if we come speak with you.
Mason grins. I swear it.
Why can't we just hold this conversation right here?
There may be, and Mason will float down to Gallenford and reach out to you, Gallenford, and pluck a small little white spider from your tunic and squash it. Some prying eyes.
Gallenford starts brushing his body for any of the spiders.
Yeah. I start looking. Well, I'm wearing armor, so I mean, if it's gonna be on my plate mail, yeah, I'm looking for spiders on anybody's body right now.
Well, Stig's not wearing his armor, so he would have felt it.
After his panic over the spider, do I believe that she really pulled a spider off of me and didn't just pull a
You can
Minor
gi-
illusion
lizard
spell?
trick?
You can give me another insight check for that particular thing. You full-heartedly believe that that spider was real and on you the entire time, and she just plucked it out and got rid of it.
Dude, you need to just get undressed right now.
I think I do want to hear what she has to say now.
Stig turns to Caradwin. It's like, should you have done something by now?
Where does this portal lead?
To my home.
Caradwin, fireball.
Not
That
to
would not be
Mason.
wise.
No, I'm saying fireball through the portal.
Before
Fireball.
Caradwin
Listening.
thinks about it, I'll kind of lean to Caradwin and Stig, and I'll just be like, remember when we were in the dark forest? The hag there? The one that looked at you through the page, Caradwin?
Yes.
Bigger.
So no fireball?
No fireball.
You know what?
Parlay would be wise here.
Who's
I
this?
feel like we have two. Well, I'm saying we, but I guess three. I should count myself. You have 3 new allies, so you have 3 new weapons essentially that would go through this portal with you. I think whatever lies on the other side, we could probably deal with it.
I mean, 2 of them were sent by gods.
Right. And one's just a badass with a bow.
I would also.
I feel like this is just a distraction from what we're trying to do. We have 2 more locations to visit and keys to find. Why
Yeah,
would
but
you call out to us now?
Yeah, but isn't she one of them?
One of them
Is she
would
one
be
of
in
the
her
humans?
domain.
We think that she is the withered tree guardian person.
Can't we tell her to come back later once we got the second one? So we don't have to trek across 2 mountain ranges?
Well, we're going to have to anyway, but this will get us there faster.
I mean, if she just wants
That's what
to
I'm saying.
talk,
If we get the one and then she teleports us over,
well, I don't know if she'll make this offer again, or that she'll release Mason with his faculties intact if we don't agree.
Stig turns to Gallifrey and he goes, "It's your party."
It's your call, my friend.
I would very much also like to know this.
Shut up! We're not talking to you.
Touchy, touchy.
Let's
Stig
hear
it-
her out, as she
Stig-
is already giving her word, and maybe she can shed light on some things.
can I send Morgan into the portal first and see if it actually leads where it says she is, where it says it does?
Sure.
Morgan's also going to cast invisibility first so that he can fly in invisibly.
Okay.
So Morgan's going to make themselves invisible, fly in to check it out.
All right. Morgan turns invisible and flies through the portal. When he does, he's no longer invisible. He is covered in this spectral. You could definitely tell it's spectral magic. Same color as the portal, like this orange gold color. And when he enters, he's in this. You could tell he's in like definitely a hag's lair. That you see the boiling the kitchen, the boiling pot and whatnot. But he sees this figure, this dark feathered creature, which you can immediately assume it's who you're talking to, Faru. And she's just sitting there smiling, and kind of waiting for the rest of the party to come through. But Morgan's looking around and no.
Say that again. You cut out for me.
Oh, so yeah, he's looking around and he is in this this giant. He can assume this giant tree, this withered inside of it, what seems to be a tree.
Okay, but it is leading to where she says it will lead.
Yes. But when he turns around, there's no portal to exit.
That sucks for him, I guess.
Well, I guess. You kind of see Morgan as expendable in the way because you can bring him back.
Well, I can bring it back to me at any time with a couple bonus actions, but no,
nice.
I'll just tell the party like at least she's not lying about where she's sending us.
Well,
So now we have a feeling that she's not lied about 3 things.
so Caradron,
She
you
seems like the most honest hag we've ever met.
Caradron, you don't have a connection to Morgan. It seems like this lair is further than 100 feet from you.
Oh, I'll bonus action dismiss him and bring him back then, because I can do that from whenever.
Okay.
So that way Morgan can come back and tell us what he saw.
Well, if that's the case, I turn to the group and say, again, I guess that's a good test. Thank you, Caradwin, for confirming that this thing isn't lying to us about that. What say you, Gallenford? Are you up for a discussion with this creature?
I believe I am.
Diplomacy is always my go-to.
And I'll turn to our 2 new companions. This tends to happen when you join the Meddlers of Mischief. Are you
No
both
shit.
willing to brave your way into a hag's lair?
Well, I don't think we have much of a choice in this. I mean, we do have a choice, but we don't, so I guess we can go. But I'm not drinking any of that tea or cookies that she might have there. Those might be.
That's normally the first thing I warn everyone when they come to the Feywild.
So,
And you, Kaslin, you willing to join us?
It sounds like easy prey.
So I'll turn to the Mason being possessed. I'm guessing you're probably freeing our friend once we walk through.
God.
but of course.
But we will have words with you.
And
This Into the Unknown song is sung by Aurora and Adina Menzel. So yeah, I'm totally going to sing this fucking song as we go into the unknown.
So she gestures, please, I welcome you to my home. Do you enter?
Yeah?
Gallenford adjusts a few things in his bag and then gestures for Excalibur to fly up into the sky, and then we'll enter the portal.
Out of curiosity, Chris, you said that this all happens before we full rested, right?
Correct.
Okay. Shit. I don't know if I want to take my mount in there. Or if it's even allowed to go in there.
Up to you.
There's a reason I had Excalibur fly up.
So your mount's going to stay here?
I can always do exactly what Caradwin did, and Excalibur can fly. So I'd prefer him to be able to be called upon instead of in the house.
Yeah, I can only summon my steed if I prepare the Find Steed spell, which I unprepared last full rest. So, you know what? I think we're going to a hag's lair, so I'm just going to slap the rump of my steed and say, wander off into the forest, celestial friend, and go have fun. I'll just summon you tomorrow if I need to.
Okay. So he kind of goes off into the distance, but he stands guard not too far away. He doesn't want to leave this area.
Okay. I would tell him to go with the villagers, but the villagers are fucking gone. I walk through the portal with behind Gallenford and and my allies.
Okay, so Gallon.
Are you coming, Sonia? Caslin? Adventure awaits.
I'm coming.
So Gallonford, Aurora, Sonia.
Can I grab Mason's leg since he's floating in the sky and drag him into the portal?
You can. She's kind of floating there, but you get the sense that she's waiting for everybody to enter before Mason goes through. She will be the last one to enter. You can most certainly. I assure you, dear, I am right behind you.
Well, I'm gonna. Okay, I guess at that point I would hesitate and wait for everyone else to go through, and then I will start to go through and see if she releases Mason, because I feel like we can't leave him behind. Like, what if she uninhabits Mason's body and just drops him there on the ground and makes the portal disappear and he's left there by himself?
I will do exactly what I know you'd want me to do. Go and make sure the villagers are safe in town.
I know, but I'm gonna see what happens. I'll hesitate and wait for I'll go in last, and then see if and I'll just kind of look up at Mason while she's floating and say, "I have your assurance. If I step through this portal, Mason's right behind me."
But of course.
Is she lying to me?
You give me an insight check.
I have this bad feeling, Mason, that you're gonna get stuck here. All right, we'll see what that does.
You get the sense that she has spoken nothing but truths at this point.
This is true. She has told nothing but truths. All right, I will release Mason's ankle and step through the portal.
Okay.
And God, I hope he comes through.
So, Caradwin, you go through, right?
Yep.
Okay, Caradwin, Stig, do you go through?
Yep.
And Coslin, do you go through?
Yep.
Okay, so yes, Aurora, as soon as you step through, Mason steps through right behind you, and Mason is back in his faculties. Mason, you wake up, and you are glowing. All of you are glowing, including you, Aurora, have this golden, this orange golden magic on you. And you wake up and you realize that you are not in camp, and you all immediately see this feathered creature sitting there in front of a table. There's a pot of tea there and some cookies on the table, and there's chairs for you. Gal, for this, you've only heard her in her name. This is the first time you've actually seen her in the flesh. She has sickly yellow bird-like eyes. She doesn't have lips. She has a beak, but in between the beak, you actually see teeth. You assume the rest of her body is hidden behind this fluff of feathers, these black feathers, black and gray feathers, and you look up and look around. You see branches growing inwards and outwards. And on these branches, way up high, you do see what seems to be harpies kind of giggling and looking down upon you and waiting anxiously, like, ooh, like fresh meat has basically come through. They're excited. Please sit.
Guys, this is Hag here. Hag here. What happened?
We'll explain in a second. Just keep it cool.
Explain now!
Chris, I would like to
Mason,
use
you
ability.
and Stig.
What?
Can I do that?
Divine Sense as an action. So, okay. You don't select Celestial Fiend or Undead. This is obviously a fey creature. However, she is pulsating with evil. And this whole place, if it were be considered deconsecrated, it would be
Desecrated.
desecrated. Yeah, this is like
Okay.
Yeah, you are not
All right.
in a good place.
Yeah, so I just turn to the group and say, evil resides here. There is great darkness here.
I think we figured that out for ourselves.
Can I cast Shatter on the hag?
You go-
Start right off. Well, didn't she want to talk?
yeah, she's here to
I
talk.
don't.
Yeah,
I was possessed. I don't know what I remember.
Yeah, Mason has no idea. He just woke up in a hag's lair and sees
That's
a hag.
They mind whammed me and teleported me to their dungeon. They're gonna cook us in a pub. Shatter everything.
Mason, you can't cast spells.
Frick! Ah! I'm just. I look for the door. I want to make a run for it. Every man for himself.
Mason, give me a perception check. You're kind of looking around for an exit, and you don't see one.
Guys, we're trapped.
She said she just wanted to talk.
Screw that. That's how they get you.
That's how they get you.
Stig, do you think we should knock him out? I don't think he's doing... Oh, wait. Hey, green guy, do you think we should knock him out? I don't think he's doing too good.
How strong do the walls look?
You said you wanted to talk, so talk.
And she gestures to the table and the chairs.
Chris, how strong do the walls look?
They look pretty solid.
Windows?
You don't. You don't see an exit. Door, windows.
I would like to try to convince Mason to settle down, take a seat, and let's hear what she has to say.
Please.
If there's
When Aurora
any
does
danger-
that, Sonia's actually gonna tackle Mason. Calm down, calm down.
Oh, okay. As I'm trying, I was essentially going to use persuasion, but you might persuade him more.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sonia, give me. This will be a grapple check, basically.
I love it.
I'm gonna say this is a grapple check.
I'm like, now let's all calm down, and Sonia just
Okay.
jumps and tackles him. All right, well, that's one way to handle it.
Would that be just strength?
It will be strength athletics versus Mason's athletics or acrobatics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Flop on the ground.
I just do like a judo throw.
Used her own weight against her.
Yeah.
I go flying.
Damn. That was some quick moves there, Mason.
So
I'm in panic fight flight mode. I'm
That's
I'm
true.
hyped
You
up
are.
here.
Hey.
You ever have a nightmare you didn't wake up from and then you did wake up from to find out that you are in the nightmare?
As a matter of fact, yes, I can relate to that. But she said she just wanted to talk. I know you're disoriented, but just relax a bit, and let's hear what she has to say before we freak out.
Freaked out. It's already been checked off.
Legit.
please.
I will just hide behind Aurora.
All right.
Your holy God shall protect me. Yes.
I will
Yes, that's
square
good.
my shoulders and attempt to be brave in the face of this frickin' horrendous looking hag thing. Actually, never mind. We are brave. I forgot. If you're within 10 feet of me, you can't be afraid.
So as you walk over to tell me to calm down, I do calm down and okay.
So Mason, you believe that with being within 10 feet of her is working. Aurora, you realize that this magic that's around you is suppressing yours. So you're like,
Oh shit.
you're like, yeah, Yeah, I
So really, it's just the fact that I'm trying to be confident.
yes.
It's not my aura at all.
Nope.
Okay.
It's
I love it.
placebo. I think
Now-
your aura is working.
Out of curiosity, I am here because of magic. Am I still here?
You believe? Yes, you are still there.
Okay.
You can give me an Arcana check.
I would love to fail at that one. I'm not good at that, but I'll try. That's not terrible.
You believe that you accepted an invitation, so she is allowing you to be here. But
Oh, it's like inviting a vampire into your house. Okay.
however, she obviously has taken precautions. I mean, she invited you out of good faith to be in her presence. However, she is not stupid.
Okay.
It's the laws of hospitality. She will be good as a host if you be good as a guest.
Yes.
These are elf rule or fey rules from Dresden Files.
I like it. Okay. No, I'm learning some lore about the Feywild I didn't know. Nice. Keep going.
This is from the Dresden Files, but it sounds like
essentially,
Chris's world.
that
Works.
you be a guest. She's being a generous host as long as you are a generous guest. But yeah, that's basically what's going on here. By walking through, you accepted her invitation, and she is essentially allowing you to be here.
The only person who didn't agree to be here is Mason.
Yeah, she kind
But he wasn't given a choice.
Yeah, no, that she wasn't given a choice. And Mason, as you approach and get closer, behind Aurora, you see that she's actually holding what seems to be some sort of voodoo doll, and it has your hair in it.
I'm gonna have to shave after this.
And you remember that your hair was taken when you were trying to scry on her.
Stupid book. I'm gonna have to burn that book too. Divination's out.
So do you all approach and sit around her dining room table?
Yes.
Stig is going to be pacing.
Okay.
Fairly controlled violence.
To a chair, but stands behind it.
So, we find ourselves in a very peculiar situation. You,
What situation would this be?
Gallonfoot, are all intents and purposes are supposed to be dead. Your body lay in your mausoleum back at home, but yet here you are. Very interesting, and she sniffs. I know why. So, I propose that we work together.
What are we working together against? And what do you know of my supposed death?
That you have died in my forest with your brother against one of my kin. And to work together against the one who besieged your town. The one who lays in the mausoleum, waiting for you, preparing for you.
And the one in the mausoleum is not your ally?
Our goals are aligned for a time until you showed up. You have most certainly changed things. After all, it is you who brought change here to your home in the Fae. I felt it many years ago. Well, many years here. You remember, Galliford, you have set this in motion. You are the catalyst that caused all this. And for whom? The one that unfortunately perished in the temple.
Wait, what was that last part?
You did all this for the one who perished in the temple. Change is coming. A darkness has peeked his head out. And we are simply trying to prepare. However, with you here, I wish to align myself with you. And she gestures to all of you.
Everything you speak is lining up with people have mentioned, but nothing matches with my memories. Maybe you can fill in these gaps.
I unfortunately do not have the power to do so. Well, I could. But that this is for you to fill out yourself, per se. But I am willing to, again, let's say, make a deal.
I've read enough of the tales about you to be stupid enough to do that. But you mentioned aligning with us for a coming darkness. Do you speak of the otherworldly ones? And when I say that, I kind of motion towards Caradwin.
You have a particular scent, all of you. Well, perhaps except for you, 30. And she points to Aurora, Sonia, and Kaslin. That you have encountered such beings. They are active. No one knows why, but I have a feeling I do. But I am willing to again do this if you. This is my offer. I will. She produces the page. I will give you what you seek, and remove my seal from the mausoleum, and give you aid in your journey to the third.
I feel like there's a catch. There's always a catch.
All I ask for return is a champion.
You need someone to pledge their service to you.
Of course. I mean, we all wish to continue on and coexist. And, well, I rather bet on you, be on your side in this coming fight. So, the seal, the page for a champion.
And what exactly is this champion offer to you? Signing a contract with their soul?
Oh, I like service. I mean, you would know all about deals, young Cadwin. After all, you've made one yourself. But unfortunately for you, you cannot accept this deal. It would be a contract of interest to your current one, and I don't wish to poach, so to speak. And you, Galliford, unfortunately, you cannot accept this as well. As you see, you've already made a deal that caused all this, and it's already in place. But the rest of you, you are able to accept this deal.
I refuse.
You one of fire. Your mind, it will be so powerful and beneficial, and I will be willing to help you grow that power. You
No, thanks.
and she turns to you, Aurora, angel blessed, or one that descends from the Watchers. Imagine you will be able to bring more justice to the wicked and to the rightful.
I put my faith in Zool, and my faith is unshakable, regardless of the gifts that you propose. You cannot compete with Zool.
What about you, Stig? I can increase your bestial power, make you more strong, be able to defeat your enemies. Or you, giantess, I will be able to help you hunt the monster that killed your family, attacked your village. It would be nothing compared to your strength. Or you, one of darkness, one of the night. With my power, you will be able to hunt the ones that brought this upon you, be able to avenge your family.
No power you offer is worth the price.
So, that is my offer. An alliance, a powerful ally, such as myself, the page, the seal broken away, one thing, and power.
There are a lot of things at stake, but it is a hard thing to ask for those here who have just joined. Is there a counter offer that just keeps our alliance against the thing from the void?
But what do I get in return?
Well, if you are betting on us and siding with us, which obviously these other few have been sensed by other worldly beings to aid us because they also possibly sense what you are sensing. The assurance that you will be able to go on doing what you are doing because we are standing in the front lines of this danger.
I think what my ally here is attempting to say is that what you get to keep is your life.
Oh, that was already guaranteed. No matter
I'm
what.
assuring that you can sit back and watch, keeping your hands free as we head up this danger. And by siding with us and helping us with those pages, we don't aim anything towards you, even when these things do show up. We'll face them.
Oh, I already know you will be doing that. I was just trying to help you along. So you, Stig, do you accept my offer?
Go screw yourself.
A shame. And you, giantess?
How exactly would you be helping me? You talk about helping me find this creature, but do you even know what it is?
Oh, but I do, dear. And I know exactly what it is. And I can lead you to it and give you the power to defeat it.
Would you be in my head this whole time? If I were to offer myself?
Only if you wish it. Only if you ask.
I'll tell you, having a devil in my head is not fun.
Oh,
I think having a hag would be worse.
Oh, I'm sure. Is the rest? I'm sure your compatriots know of your deal, Caradwin.
You know, I'm honestly surprised you're not trying to offer to break it and take over. You seem like the kind of person who like to weasel people out of loopholes.
Again, I don't wish to seem like I am poaching from.
Yeah, I really doubt that.
So, young Sonia, she reaches out her hand. Do we have a deal?
Hmm. You think we could get this in writing? I heard from Mason Flame Guy, that you're supposed to write things to make sure there's no loopholes. And then I'll have my lawyer, the fire guy, read it, or maybe even Witchy Girl, whoever, to make sure there's no loopholes.
Oh, I assure you, you will get everything what I promise.
That's a load of horse shit, I'll tell you that.
That's some fancy lawyer speak there. She asked for it in writing. You're like, yeah, sure, I'll give you what you want. I think a contract is a legitimate negotiation tactic. I'm surprised that that you would refuse that.
She is offering essentially a contract, but you can.
I know, but Sonia wants it in writing.
I know.
Just draft something up real quick.
Galliford will actually pull free a scroll, take out his fancy writing pen, and begin writing. What should I put down for this? I can scribe it out for you.
I don't think
He
you
is
should.
good at
I
that.
don't think there should be a deal made. Again, speaking as the one with experience, this is a bad idea.
You
Right.
believe that once somebody shakes her hand, it will be written in writing.
Well, I'm
Ah.
sorry, Chris. Say that again. Once somebody.
Or one of you accepts the deal, except for Caradwin and Galliford, because she cannot deal
Damn
with
it.
you.
I was going to shake her hand right then and there if that's all it took.
Because you already have a deal in place, and Galliford already made one as well.
Damn it, Chris. Let me sell my soul to multiple people. Let me be John Constantine.
Once this task is completed, would I be set free of this contract?
You would become my champion, dear.
So what happens if perhaps you said it's impossible, I understand, but let's say you die or cease to exist, would then she be released from the contract?
She giggles. One may assume that you can assume that, yes. But who says anything about me dying anytime
No, I'm
soon?
just saying if.
You're not gonna inhabit my body or anything, right? Like you did with the flame guy?
Dear,
What?
do you wish to become my champion, accept the power to help Galliford in his quest?
I'm just saying, I just met these people. It's kind of hard to really say, I'll give up my life for this cause when I barely even know anything about them.
Well, I think she's also that's what, like, Chris is also offering you your quest objective to hunt the find the
Yeah,
thing
she's
that you're
also
searching for.
also willing to help out anybody. Well, again, those with the power to help out with your
I know. It's actually quite compelling.
have,
I just feel like Zool would be really pissed off at me if I became someone else's champion. I'm already Zool's champion.
He just gave you the power to astral project.
He did. So I'm like, I almost feel a little beholden to my god, you know? Like he just did a favor for me.
And
But
Sonia, your god hand delivered you here for a purpose, and now you're
on a
doing
lightning bolt.
backhanded deals.
Mason might accept the deal if this wasn't his absolute worst fear of all time.
You know, the best way to get over your fears is to face them, Mason.
No, the best way to deal with your fear is to leave it behind in the dust. As in run away as far as possible.
Do you think I could have a conversation with my god? I'll be back. I think I should probably talk to him before
I gotta go
me.
pray about it. I love it. You should.
Are you gonna go see if he'll give you a better deal?
I got this offer.
God, I just found out I got new offers on the table, so you're gonna have to step it up, bro.
She's got options.
I got positive equity on whatever deal we have, so I can trade that in for a better deal at the same price.
Caradwin, give me. Are you really considering accepting this deal if you're able to?
If this truly my thought was, if I sell my soul to something else, it would be a John Constantine situation of now I have a hag and a devil fighting each other over me, and I'm safe until they figure that shit out.
Well, Sonia, do you accept the deal to become her champion? in exchange for power to not only help Galliford, but to help yourself in your quest.
Why was Caslin against this idea? I missed that.
Because he's the angst one.
But Caslin already makes deals with dark entities to gain power.
I don't think we know
wasn't my
that.
choice.
It wasn't my
Oh,
choice.
that's right. You did say it was forced on you.
She
I apologize.
offered,
I do
again,
remember you saying
for
that.
Caslin that the power to hunt down the ones that turned him into this creature.
Gotcha. Yeah, he did say it was forced.
I'm surprised she didn't offer to turn him back.
And just to be clear, we don't have to accept this deal, right?
No.
Well, no. It feels like a plot point, though.
It sounds
If
I
I
like
don't
was
see a
writing
way
story-
of defeating her, and we need that seal broken.
You know what? Fine. Mason will do it. She's already got my hair. She's already got control. Just do
Wait,
it.
She
so
did already
Mason,
possess you once.
you go up and
Make-
take her hand.
Mason, don't do it. Don't do it,
Hold on.
Mason.
Too late.
Mason,
Do it, Mason.
She's already got my hair. She's already got control. What now?
In
It's
all the
official.
stories I've heard of her, have I heard of anyone getting out of any deals?
give me this is only will apply to you, Galliford. Give me a history check.
I'm going to use my inspiration since it would vanish after tonight.
Good call. Good call.
You said history?
History.
Crap.
So, like any hag deals, they get for people who specifically deal with hags. They get exactly what they want. There may not be as much fine print as there would be for a devil, because but however, the hags always have something. There's always a meaning behind their deals and whatnot. They always get something out of it, and it's not. It may be good, may be bad, but for her, people that have dealt with her got exactly what they wanted, and she has gotten exactly what she wanted.
I do want to make a speculate, a condition that I'll accept this deal, but I want my hair back. No voodoo control.
Do you say that as you take her hand?
Well, before I take her hand, it's part of the deal is
She
I don't want
hands
voodoo.
the doll to you.
Okay, I'll take it with one hand and shake with the other.
Oh,
Ooh, I can't wait to see what
sweet.
powers you get.
I can't. I was not expecting that. Holy fuck. Okay.
Well, nobody, Caradwin's already made a deal. Galliford's already made a deal. Aurora's already made a deal.
I know. You
Sojourn's
really
already
are
made a
the only
deal.
one left.
So it's like Stig, Kazim, or me. Stig won't do it. Kazim won't do it.
All right.
And she's already got some sort of control over me, so I might as well
If
be the one to do it.
she could grin, you see that she somehow gets the biggest grin on her face, and your hands are locked with her. So her hand is like that of, almost like that of a bird's hand. The wrinkly hands, the clawed fingernails. We have a deal. And it's kind of almost like Harry Potter for the unbreakable curse. However, she stands up and she is a very tall and large woman, and she has you in one hand. You can't let go, Mason, and you are almost on the verge of tears because this is your absolute worst nightmare, and no matter what, you will still be afraid of hags. This just made things worse. And she takes her other clawed hand and plunges it into your chest.
Yeah, Mason's like, just, the deal's done. Out. Just faints.
And then she rips out your still beating heart.
Jesus.
Can we kill her now?
I tried.
and
Nothing worked.
and it's beating, and you're standing there, like your mouth agape, like you can't get a scream out. But the thing is, you're still alive.
The it's a Ganassi heart, so it probably catches a little fire, and it's just like Kali.
She let goes your hand. You're standing there in awe. You're clutching your chest. This blood is pouring out, and she walks over behind her. She puts your heart in a crow cage, and a harpy swoops down and grabs it and flies up deep into the tree. And she parts, and she goes to the wall and taps it and parts. And Galliford, you all see embedded in this tree is a dryad, and not just a dryad. It looks like a dryad that was once inhabitant of this tree, that owned this tree before this hag took residence. It's essentially an arch druid, an arch dryad, I would say. And she plunges her hand into this dryad's chest and rips out her heart. The dryad screeches in pain and then dies. The heart still beating. She goes over to you, Mason, and plunges the heart into where your chest cavity is. Roots begin to sprout and cover the hole in your chest and permanently stay there. You can actually see Mason's new beating heart through these roots. And Mason, you fall over, in fetal position in incredible, excruciating pain, the worst you have ever had in your life, as branches begin to grow out of your body and replace your arm with a wooden arm, essentially, and half your face is now like tree-like in your back and part of your back, and especially the chest where your heart is. And this is not paper. You guys are standing there watching Mason in agony as he is transforming into this person.
So yesterday I was a water fire type. Then I got cured of the water and became just a fire type, and now I'm an grass fire.
Mason, this is what you get.
Having the best time here in the Feywilds, guys.
You get
Stig is there, ready to go, looking at Galliford, saying, "Now."
Well, why didn't you move when I tried to shatter her earlier?
It's in your journal, Faru Almenza's gift.
Don't worry, it's a good thing. It'll help us defeat evil.
Do I become a druid? Do I get to play a druid again? Yep, I get to summon a bunch of stuff. Hooray!
Is it a curse? Can I remove it?
Aurora, well, you could check with your amulet.
No, I'm not gonna do it in front of the hag. I'll wait. But I do feel like maybe Mason was cursed, and that's why I kind of kept my mouth shut. I can remove curses. So in Aurora's mind, she's thinking, yeah, accept the deal. I'll just break it for you later.
Chris, how does this work? It says I'm vulnerable to fire damage, but I'm a fire genasi and I resist fire damage.
If you read it, it overrides any resistance you have or gain.
Well, that sucks.
Now you're a fire genasi who takes more fire damage than normal? Ouch.
He's more tree than fire now.
I guess. Hopefully it gives you something worth trading that for.
Do you want me to share it, Mason, so everybody can?
Yeah, I might as well share it.
Okay, I'll share it with you guys so you can look at it, but in it's in all players' journals, just so you can see it.
It's the Queen of Harpies deal?
Faru Alneza's gift.
Oh, you're gonna get married, Mason.
I hope it's to the Dryad. Dryad's
The
granddaughter,
Dryad's
not the hag's
dead.
daughter. It says you are betrothed to her granddaughter, though.
Yeah. But it's not the Dryad.
I said I hope it's the Dryad's granddaughter, not the hag's granddaughter.
Oh.
I think it's the hag's. Well, the Harpies, Queen of the Harpies' granddaughter. You grow harpy wings.
And when do these recharge, or do they just
Every day.
once a day? Okay.
Once a day.
Can you do each one once per day, or do you have to pick one of the three?
You could do each one once per day.
Oh, nice. God, that's a lot of blights. It says 46 twig blights, 2d8, and 1d4 vine blights. Is that...
Oh, wait. That's it. Hold on. Did I screw that up?
There might be a typo, because the 2d8 doesn't have a thing after it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
It's 2d8.
Is there another blight?
Yeah, there's another
Yeah.
blight. Needle blights.
Needle blights. Okay. So 4 times 6 is 24, plus 16 is 30. You could summon 34 blights if you max rolled? Jesus, you could just summon an army.
Once a day, but we just gained 3 more party members, so I don't think we'll need to do that.
Yeah, but for fun, when we get into a boss fight, you summon 30 fucking blights into the boss fight.
The summon thing is the only thing that's beneficial to me.
Because you can do everything else.
Yeah. So this is a huge curse, I feel like.
You already grow wings?
I have boots of flying that I built. I get to cast fly once a day. The only thing is that this fly is 10 feet faster.
And
I guess
why would
you have a
want
get
it?
out of jail card in the phase shift thing. You can,
I can go back to her lair.
yeah.
Back,
you
back
here.
to his hell.
But once we finish Gallenford's mission, I don't ever plan on going back here.
Well, then we'll just have to remove this thing from you.
So
I thought her deals were supposed to give me exactly what I want. I don't want any of this stuff.
So after some excruciating pain,
Can I get a refund, please?
you stand up and you guys see Mason turn this happen. And also, before I forget, when she plunged her heart into the Dryad, everybody, you saw that the magical seal that's similar to the one that was on the boss and on the mausoleum was on the Dryad. So she destroyed the seal on the mausoleum, her seal. And
She kept her promise.
And she presents the page to you, Gallenford.
I take the page as I force my mouth closed after watching the pain Mason was in.
Adieu, adieu. My dear, my champion. Do me proud.
No, screw you. This was a bad deal.
And you bet. And she snaps her fingers and a portal appears. I believe
Mason's
this
gonna head out.
concludes our business. I wish you well. So Mason, you exit through the portal. What did the rest of you do?
Oh, I exit through the portal.
Gallonford will wait till everyone's exited through, and before he exits out, he'll just turn to her once more. What did you mean I set all this in play?
The deal you made to bring back your friend. A truth and a lie. Now you better hurry along. You have one more to deal with.
Gallonford grits his teeth and exits the portal.
All right. You all exit through, and you are in the mountains. And before you, you see what seems to be a cave entrance to a large mountain.
You can finish your description first. But
yeah, you see the entrance to the cave to a large mountain, most likely where your next quarry lies. But real quick, Aurora, you quickly go outside and you approach Mason with your holy symbol out.
yes. Relax, my friend. If it is a curse, I may be able to remove it like I did with our friend Stig. But if the curse is too powerful, I may not be able to. Or if it's not a curse.
It does give off an aura.
Okay.
This is
Powerful dark magic.
very powerful dark magic. You yourself would not be able to dispel it, because he accepted a deal. So certain conditions will most likely will have to be met or accepted to remove his affliction.
Okay, so now we start researching how to break a hag's deal. We'll find a way. I'm sorry I cannot remove it right now, but I swear you have my oath that we will find a way to end it if you do not wish to serve this hag for the rest of your life. You do not deserve this fate, my friend. Plus, you have a fucking tree growing out of your arm now.
And this tree, actually, your appendage, Mason, is actually almost as if it's charred on fire. You still have your fire, so you still have the fire in you, and it's kind of burning. You have this charred arm, and when you move, you see embers in between the bark and whatnot. But you all turn and look to the mountain, knowing that this is where you are needed for your next leg of the journey. And with that, we will end the session there.
Oof.